What is up, everybody? Sorry, I didn't have much of a pre-warning today. I am running a little bit late for this whole live stream just because I was doing quick maths. In fact, I should actually window capture. Let's see. Oh, I'll do this. I want to show you guys something that I was working on. Because there are a lot of new Prot Paladin questions and a lot of new Prot Paladin changes and a few Prot Warrior changes. Now the Prot Warrior changes, you know, I don't think they're still done with Prot Warriors, but that might just be me. Waiting on you to get me through the workday. Yeah, I didn't have much of a warning before going live because I've been working on this. So let me see. Let me show you guys. Display image. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Where did I? So, look at this. I've been working on how the new Prot Paladin mastery scales, how it scales versus versatility, what its total reduction is, like how much we get out of every point. Did I try the new build for Prot Warriors? I haven't tried them in dungeons yet. I've tried them outside of it. Prot Warriors didn't get changed too much. Prot Paladins are the ones that got changed a lot. Their mastery got completely reworked. Their way that their SOTR interacts with the rest of their kit got reworked. So TLDR, like, very quick note, if you just want to know the like end note of Prot Paladins, their new mastery is really weak, like really weak. It scales 50% slower than versatility. So if you want to smooth out your damage taken, versatility is going to be better for you than their new mastery. And versatility also increases damage and healing done. So it's going to increase your self-heal. It's going to increase your damage. And the only thing that the Paladin Mastery is going to scale off of is it scales your attack power, which is going to increase your damage. But unless we're talking about super high values, like for the first few tiers, I feel like versatility is going to be way better than mastery unless they rework it. Like if they rework the way it scales. Right now, point for point, versatility is 50% better. What's up, Savs? What's up, man? Thank you for stopping by, man. Hey, you didn't stream yesterday, did you, Savs? And what's up, Bolt and Jakar? So yeah, that was the quick maths on the Prot Paladin. The new mastery, like, overall it's great. This Prot Paladin is taking a lot less damage than I was before, like a lot. You didn't stream yesterday? You're gonna start soon? Nice, man, nice. Well, good luck on your stream when you do start. And thank you for stopping by, Sabs. I appreciate it. I saw Clipsy started streaming yesterday early and finished early too. I accidentally popped my like intro to the game 24-hour XP boost. I clicked claim all when I was watching TV. I clicked claim all. So the past 2 days I've just been grinding XP on DHC. Just, oh man, I gotta make use of them because I accidentally popped them. Excited about the Prot Warrior and Pally? Yeah, Sal. Let me go over to the Prot Warrior. I just wanted to show you guys this. Basically, what changed with Prot Paladins is if you pop Consecration, if you're standing in that Consecrate, your new mastery just decreases damage taken. It's a flat, what is it? What's the flat reduction? 2.4%, scales upwards. It is a linear scale. I was testing it out yesterday. Make lemonade out of lemons? Dude, you're telling me. I'm not allowed to auto farm and dig through my inventory at the same time. So yeah, the new mastery scales linearly just like versatility does, and it acts just the same way as versatility. Decreases damage taken by a certain percent, and it also increases your attack power. Versatility, it does a little bit more than that. And yeah, the new mastery, not that great, but all the other changes are really, really welcome. I like the new talent point for Prot Paladins. The new talent is as soon as you use Avenger Shield, you increase your block by 75%. So Redoubt is going to scale really good as the expansion goes on. I think it's going to get nerfed a little bit. 75% is a really big increase, but the better your shield, the better this talent point. So it gets your block value, which if you don't have a shield, you have no block value. So the better your shield, you basically multiply this by that 75%. It's going to increase that block value. And then as far as other really big changes, Seraphim is going to be scaling a lot better now because of the whole mastery and taking damage. And man, I'm trying to remember everything else. I think that was it. It was the new mastery, the new talent point. Immediately after using Avenger Shield, you increase SOTR by 20%, but the actual blocking doesn't scale now. And I think that was it. I closed all my Chrome windows right before I started today. The only other really cool thing, it's not Paladin specific, is the new Azurite trait system. Look at this UI. The UI is beautiful, man. I low-key look like I could be your cousin, Sabs. Man, and we're both from LA. I'm telling you, man. LA seems like a really big city, but it's actually a small town if you know your way around it. Anything new from magic damage mitigation? Kind of, Zach. Kind of. Zach, the magic mitigation mastery is going to affect that magic. So Prot Paladins, they didn't, it isn't explicitly like reduces magic damage taken, but if you look at the mastery, if you look at the top portion there, increases chance to block, reduces all damage taken while you're inside of consecration by 4.7%. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, versatility scales better, 50% faster. So versatility is going to do more for you for magic mitigation, but the new mastery arguably, you know, counters that magic mitigation. Loving Redoubt, glad to have another option over hammers. Yeah, Redoubt is really good. Really good. Sabs, good luck on your stream, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, and having another option over hammers, definitely. So Blessed Hammers is still going to be the go-to when we talk about trash pulling, and it's going to reduce the auto attack damage. So when we talk about like general trash, Blessed Hammer is still going to put in a lot of work in terms of getting you Avenger Shield procs. And if it's gonna, I think it's gonna scale a little bit better with Azurite armor as well, because for Azurite traits we have, let me see, where is it? Oh, did I unequip that piece of gear? For Azurite traits we have, where is it? There's one really good Azurite trait. This one right here. Whenever, oh no, that's not it. There's one that replaces the artifact power, unless they removed it, where when you throw your Avenger Shield, you get a bubble. They might have removed it. Let me show you guys the, let me hide chat real quick so I can show you guys this new interface. I think this is the way that the interface is actually going to be as well. So here's the user interface for the Azurite armor. And I honestly feel like this is the final design. So let's say I'm going to pick this. When SOTR expires, I gain additional block and I deal holy damage for 4 seconds. Like that's a really good trait, right? That amount of block is going to scale really well. So once you pick your Azurite trait, look at this. That I can get behind that. That is really cool. And then Absorption, or every time I kill someone, I heal up a little bit. Let's do the bubble. Locks into place. The last Azurite trait. Lock it in, 5 item levels. So that's the new Azurite UI, and I feel like this is the way it's going to be when stuff goes live. Excited for the new Prot Warrior and Prot Pally. The Prot Pally got some really good changes, a lot of good buffs. Yesterday, when I was, or not yesterday, Wednesday when I was live streaming and running a lot of the regular dungeons, I was taking, I'd say about 7,000 to 9,000 damage per second, and then they changed everything. I logged in yesterday and I'm taking like 6,000 to 7,000 damage per second. So I'm taking about 1,000 damage per second less without a change of gear. My shield is terrible, and with this new system with redoubt and the new block value system in BfA just in general, an upgrade to your shield is going to be huge. Right now, the unfortunate part is yesterday's patch broke everything. I can't get into a heroic. Like, I don't have the item level on this guy, but on my Prot Warrior I do. But you can't get into a heroic right now. It doesn't see that you have your Heart of Azeroth equipped. And the one dungeon that has a really good shield, Atal Dazar, I also can't get into. It's not recognizing it right now. So yesterday's update for all of this Prot Paladin and Prot Warrior stuff, they were trying to get it out in time for Warfront testing. All of that broke everything else, and so we need to wait till like probably Tuesday, server reset or something. What's up, Holy Explosive? Oh, Mehmet, what's up, man? Did I see the new bolster? I like it. I like the new bolster. Into the Fray and bolster, booming voice, anger management. Into the Fray is okay. My only complaint about Into the Fray is it's 10 yards. If it was made 20 yards and I could clip a few of the range people in my group, so if I go do a Mythic Plus or something like that, range is probably going to stay like 15 yards away from the pack. So if they extended it to 20 yards and I could clip my healer and my range damage dealer, whether it's a mage, a hunter, whatever it is, a warlock, that would make Into the Fray a lot better. Actually, I think yes, I think Temple of Seth drops a, yeah, it does, it drops a shield. Let's queue up for Temple of Seth, and then we've got Freehold. These guys also drop some decent stuff. Actually, let me hop over to Prot Warrior. Oh, I might have to force quit. Logging out right now is broken too. Everything is broken, man. Everything. Animation for it is pretty good. Yeah, I like the whole Azurite thing. You're worried about Azurite, but then some of them seem like they can be pretty fun. So right now, the only complaint I have about Azurite is a lot of those traits feel really muted. And yeah, I have to reset. Okay. So the only complaint I have about Azurite is a lot of the traits feel really muted and really low, like at max level. And my warrior is geared for mythics, and he's got 140,000 HP, and a lot of these effects are like gives you a bubble for 400 HP, and it's like if I have 140,000 HP, a 400 HP bubble is like a critter hitting me. So my only complaint is that the numbers are a little weak right now. But that being said, I fully expect them to change some of those numbers. I also have to change my weak auras because I have a weak aura for bolster, and bolster's gone. So Prot Warrior changes. I have 124,000 HP because I'm not specting Indom anymore. So let me show you guys the new talents. And let me toss chat back up there. So I'm running anger management, you guys see here in the very bottom, and then chat's you guys are gonna cover that up halfway there. I'm also running booming voice right now. I do like that extra rage to pair up with anger management, so I can get stuff like last stand and shield wall and demo shout a lot faster. I think that's gonna do more for my survivability than heavy repercussions, and honestly than Ravager ever will, because right now, something else about Prot Warriors is that right now in the current iteration of BfA, every time you take an auto attack, you gain 3 rage, and every time you do an auto attack, you gain 2 rage. So when you take damage, you gain 3 rage. When you do damage, you gain 2. And I think the the gaining damage from taking damage is on an internal cooldown of about 1 second. So, you know, 3 rage per second. So all of this rage generation will add up for that anger management. Do all armor pieces have 3 traits? Yes, right now, Zach. All of the Azurite pieces have 3 traits. So if we look at like, oh no, I just lied to you. They used to only have 3 traits. I had not checked. So on my Paladin, those were all blues. They were easy blues. Oh, what's up, Who's? My bad. I'm just going through the chat right now. Those are all blues. These are epics, and these epics have 4. I hadn't seen a piece with 4 yet. I logged into my warrior yesterday, but not too much. So it seems like they're doing one of your abilities, then they're doing your secondary stats, then they're doing that survivability tier, and then they're doing the item level tier. Nice. So I have a bunch of Azurite gear on this guy. Let's see. Yeah, so blues have 3, epics have 4. It's interesting. Let me show you guys again, locking in that choice, how like oddly satisfying that. Look at that animation. I like it. I like it, Blizzard. There's also a new area where you can, I think the vendor is broken right now, but there's someone that's going to allow you, oh, really, Blizz, you're gonna DC me? There's someone that's gonna allow you to reset the Azurite gear. Into the Fray still looks good. You can place a boss or ask people to come nearby. Yes, but when we start talking about them scale. Oh, I got a critical error on WoW. It crashed. When we talk about Into the Fray scaling, when we start doing Mythic Plus, and then you start getting stuff like bursting, you start getting stuff like quaking. That Into the Fray, you're not going to be able to tell everybody, hey, stack on me. We have Volcanic going out. We have Quaking going out. We have Sanguine going out. You know, not everyone's going to be able to stack on the tank. You don't like any other choices? Into the Fray is cool, and I like the haste. And especially in this like weird world that they created, where our 3 best armor pieces have no secondary stats. You know, something like Into the Fray with that haste is gonna come in handy. Let me show you guys. Where is this guy? Oh, he's not here. Okay, so I saw this person in the Alliance area yesterday. So let me go over to the Horde zone. There's actually I'll show you guys after. Let me show you guys Dragon Roar. There's this guy next to like the Ethereals for Transmog who is called Azurite Reforger. So he's not working yet. You click him and he doesn't do anything. But that's going to be the guy who is going to help us redo our points. Do I prefer Dragon Roar over Unstoppable Force? Yeah, I do. And the only reason for it is like Unstoppable Force is really cool. It's going to be really cool for boss fights, right? It helps you guarantee a rotation. Unstoppable Force makes it so that Thunderclap is every other cooldown. So in between that, you shuffle in your Ignore Pain, you shuffle in Shield Slam procs, you shuffle in like anything else, but you have guaranteed rage generation every other cooldown. Unstoppable Force is great for that. Dragon Roar, in case you guys haven't seen this part, this is something I haven't talked about too much. Thunderclap now reduces movement speed only by 20%. So they nerfed the snare that Thunderclap applies. They're loud here, man. They nerfed the snare that Thunderclap does from 50% to 20%. So that means that when we have Mythic Plus and when we have Necrotic Week, our ability to kite without depending on anyone else is very low now. We have Shockwave and we have a really weak Thunderclap, 20%. That means that Dragon Roar is going to be crucial for Necrotic Week, for Raging Week, for Bolstering Week, for us being able to kite. Dragon Roar is the one thing that's going to allow us to do that. So when we talk about like doing Mythic Plus builds and Endgame, which I think we should all be worried about Endgame, Unstoppable Force will probably be for bosses, and then Dragon Roar will be for that Mythic Plus, so that we can throw that snare. I don't have to depend on getting a rogue. I don't have to depend on getting a warlock. I don't have to depend on anyone else. I just do it myself. Unfortunately, gotta head back to work. All right, Zach. So coming soon trait for warriors. What is that now? It's this guy right here. So let me show you guys just like everything that there is to know about Dragon's Roar. You guys can see all of my bars here. So everything that there is to know about warriors. I'm gonna be spamming Devastator here to show you guys global cooldown and non-global cooldown. So right now, off of the global, we have Berserker Rage, Last Stand, Shield Wall, our active mitigation, which was always off, Spell Reflect, and Pummel. This the Bull Rush hasn't been fixed yet. They said all ratios were going to be off the global. This one isn't off yet. But Spell Reflection and Berserker Rage are also welcome additions to not being on this global cooldown as well. Strong independent tank. I don't need nobody to do my snares. So yeah, those are the big changes when it comes to the global cooldown stuff. So the new Dragon Roar, you guys see it right here. My number 4 ability. It is on the global, and it's going to hit as hard as a shield slam, but to everyone around me. So my shield slam hits for 5,009 physical damage. Let me remove my face. 5,009 physical damage. Dragon Roar does 4,964. Very similar in terms of damage, except Dragon Roar is a complete AoE around me. Everything within 8 yards, whether it's in front of me, behind me, whatever it is. And it also reduces movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. That's not the right one. And it's a 25-second cooldown. So I'm going to be able to use this like every other pack. So it's going to work out really, really well. What's up, Admiral? How you doing, man? Dragon Roar on prop. I like it. I like it. So if Thunderclap had never been nerfed and Thunderclap was still a really good snare for us to use to kite, I probably wouldn't be looking at Dragon Roar as well as I am right now. But since Thunderclap got nerfed so badly, our ability to kite is gone. It's gone. Like, we still have our mobility, we still have charge, we still have leap, but our ability to kite is severely diminished. So that Dragon's Roar, let me show you guys. This is a shield slam right here. 3,500 damage, right? You guys saw that? Let me reset it. And I'll get my weak auras out of the way. Alright. That's a shield slam, 3,500. This is a Dragon's Roar. It's gonna do a little bit less. Oh, it did more. 4,900. Why? Why, Blizzard? 2,500. It should be doing a little bit less. 3,600. Am I running? I'm not even running Punish. That's interesting. It should be doing less. 3,600. Here's a Dragon's Roar right here. 5,200. It's hitting a lot harder, and that wasn't even a crit. Okay. Well then. I guess the numbers are still off. I guess it's still working on it. Yesterday's patch, by the way, put all of the servers on fire. There was supposed to be a 2-hour maintenance. I think it went on to 3.5 hours of maintenance. Almost even like a full 4 for everyone to be able to log in. So overall, from when we first started BfA, I want to commend the design team so far, but they're not done yet. I don't think Prot Warriors are gonna launch like this, because this isn't right. So when we first started, we got like a lot of things gutted. Ignore Pain was gutted, and then it was completely removed. So this used to be bolster. I mean, this bolster used to be increases your armor by 40% of your strength. That was what bolster was. What they did last build, and then yeah, in the last build, they increased our defensive stance, which is now called Vanguard. They did it so that it has that armor increased by 40% of our strength baked in passively. So basically what they did is they took the idea of bolster and making our armor scale via our strength, so that we feel the same throughout the whole expansion. Our strength is always going to keep going up. They took that idea and baked it in as a passive. So they freed us up with a global cooldown, and it doesn't cost any rage. So the original idea of bolster is now a passive that's always on, costs no rage, and it's always there. You'd like to work in the Blizz DC just to see why this happens? Dude, me too. I'd like to see some of those meetings. I'd love to see it. So the original bolster is now baked in, passive, doesn't cost anything. And then they gave us a new bolster, which instead of being red is blue now. Basically, last stance cooldown is now reduced from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, and it causes us to block all melee attacks. So it's kind of like Last Stand and a weaker form of Neltharion's Fury put together. Another day at work feels bad, man. I'm sorry, Demon Hunter. Gotta get through the grind. Unfortunately. So, wages, yeah. Yeah, bolster is now... The bolster talent point is Last Stand and Neltharion's Fury put together. It doesn't crit block, which is the only part that, like, I would love it if it did, but Last Stand lasts 15 seconds. That's 15 seconds of 100% block. So we have only 2 charges of shield block. We only have 2 charges of shield block. So we have a lot of gaps in our mitigation and maintaining the active mitigation up. So while bolster doesn't check off the box for active mitigation, Hooves, I'm gonna demonetize you for calling me the T word. So bolster doesn't check off the box for active mitigation. Like if we do a boss fight that says that we need to have active mitigation or something happens, bolster isn't going to save us, but bolster can save us beforehand and after. Bolster's going to have that guaranteed crit, guaranteed block. So it's not guaranteed crit, but it's still more than was offered before. But look at this, guys. I can't even queue up for heroics anymore. They broke everything. But in terms of the new Dragon Roar, I like it. Let me actually go to a dungeon, show off the new Dragon Roar, and then we will actually switch. And I have to queue up for specific dungeons because some of them are broken. So Toldagor is broken. I don't want to do the mother load. Don't make me do the mother load. Hey, I can do a Taldazar on this character, not my other character. That's kind of weird. Oh, for some reason, my YouTube is all messed up. By the way, guys, I'm also working on a video already that is going to show off like the Prot Paladin changes, and I'm going to be going over all of the actual numbers. What's up, Brian? I didn't see you come in. I'm sorry. My chat is really messing up here. He already has over 100k HP. Chase, I am geared for Mythic dungeons, my friend. Let me show you. Mythic 0 dungeons. Oh, I actually can't show you. Mythic 0s drop 340. And heroics stop dropping at 325. I'm 325. I am 325 item level. I'm fully heroic geared, ready to start doing the mythic climb. Alright. I sounded like someone got slapped there. Alright, so we need to wait for our healer to come in. Apparently our healer's still loading in. We'll end up with over 1 million HPS. I honestly feel like by the end of the X pack, we're probably going to have like maybe like 300 to 500,000, maybe like half a mil, maybe 500,000. Actually, sounds like a good round number, 500,000. It's a far cry from what we have right now, where it's like, hey, 10 million if you're a tank. Doing well. How are things going for you? They're going good, man. Blizzard's trolling me. Yesterday I did the Vengeance Demon Hunter, and before I even published it, I was like, I gotta get these new changes. Oh no, they pulled this stuff. I was just thinking, I gotta get these new changes. I gotta get them done. I gotta get them done. But the servers were down for like an extra 2 hours yesterday, so I wasn't able to pump out anything yesterday. And like, I really wanted to see how the new Paladin mastery scaled, and how it actually performed in live, because they got their ability to empower the SLTR went down, but their constant mitigation went up. Why are they chasing the boss? We're just coming over here. Have I tested legacy raids? I have not yet, Epic. All of the changes to the tanking classes have kept my priorities on them. You ended up finishing 7 out of 11 heroic last night, so you're making progress. Nice, man. Were you tanking that? I know you said that you were probably going to have to, but I don't know if maybe there was a surprise cameo. But either way, nice, man. 7 out of 11. Getting it done. Getting it done before BfA comes out. Alright, let's do this. So I don't want to give anyone Rezan's back, because he does do a tail swipe. So the new Dragon Roar isn't really going to be applying for bosses. It mostly applies for trash. So if I get another one of those dinosaurs, I can show you guys, kind of try to kite it a little bit. And right now, the fear was broken last build. I'd imagine it's still broken right now, because what they really wanted to do was implement these new changes and do the Warfront testing. So I don't think they were really focused on that. Alright, let's see. Terrifying Visage. That's fine. Yeah, I still got feared. Okay. Oh no, they're gonna activate this. Oh, he's chasing me. Let's go. Let's go. Let's pop shield wall, jump right into the belly of the beast. Perfect. Alright. Let's go on over to do some trash. Start doing that Dragon's Roar. It doesn't have the knockback, which is the only part I'm a little bummed out about. I wish it still had the knockback to start giving you that distance to be able to kite. You were healing again because the tank came back? Oh, nice. Since the new FR heals you for 25% of max HP, so the more bigger HP people, also haste for reducing the global cooldown. I guess the main stats are agility mastery, haste verse for guardian druids. Wait, is this my healer? No, why are they way over there? I don't even know what part of that map that is. They're off the map. Nice. We're not waiting for anyone to be here, and we're doing really big pulls. Very cool. All right, Dragon's Roar. Unfortunately, doesn't have that knockback, but you guys can see it. It's a decent snare. It's a decent snare. I don't mind it as a snare. That ignore pain. That new ignore pain. You know, one of the talent points, I'm not gonna lie, one of the talent points I do miss is I forget what it's called, but while Berserker Rage is active, your taunt has no cooldown. That was a really good talent point for skittish weeks. If you had one DPSer who was just insane on the meters, skittish week meant that you were gonna have hell trying to maintain aggro from that DPSer. So popping your Berserker Rage and tab spamming taunt worked. It just worked. Oh man, my add-ons have a bunch of errors. The new build is killing my add-ons. You were expecting a slightly bigger squish regarding HP? Yeah, I know. When they first said that they were going to be doing the whole stat squish and how like much it was going to be, like how far into the expansions it was going to be, I was expecting a much bigger squish as well. I'm not going to lie to you. There's also, if you guys are playing the beta, there is one trinket that's completely glitched out in terms of damage, and it does a ton of damage. And I believe it's from Scarlet Monastery. This guy is just doing all the pulls. Nice. It's the trinket from Scarlet Monastery that gives you a cannon cart. That cannon cart does an insane amount of damage right now. Anything new with Druid Tank? No new changes on Druid Tanks. Boomkins got their rework, and I need to start looking into the Boomkin rework as well. But yeah, they got that. Let's see what Prot Warriors are made of. This is a regular dungeon, so I shouldn't have a problem because I should be outgearing this. This drops item level 310 gear, and I'm at 325, so I should be okay. Hey, the boss is back where she should be. The boss last build was way up front here and would pull with the trash pull. So I'm glad to see the boss back on the stool so that she doesn't accidentally pull. Alright, I'll pop the new bolster right now too. So my shield block just fell off. There's the new bolster. Guaranteed blocking everything. That was good. I was not taking damage there. That new guaranteed crit with that last stand HP. I mean guaranteed block. That was a lot of trash too. The new Dragon Roar, we're not going to see too much of it like coming into effect until we start doing Mythic Pluses, until you need to kite. That's when we're going to start seeing the effect of that kick in. Until that moment, it's not going to be doing much. All right, we've got Gilded Claws going out on me right now. Ignore Pain is still up. Ignore Pain seems to be surviving a little bit more, but I think that's just because I'm doing a normal dungeon because they broke heroics. And then as far as like normal rage consumption, I used Last Stand on that trash pull before, so maybe about 30 seconds ago, and Last Stand is up in another 30 seconds already. So anger management is still scaling well. We still have good rage consumption and rage generation. I wish it wasn't as spiky as it is, but you know, that's the world we live in now. There it is. Last Stand is back up now, so I can do Last Stand if I wanted to. Now I want to save it for a bigger trash pull. Alright, let's go down here. We've got a bigger trash pull coming up before the next boss. Did anyone die to the fire? Normally somebody dies to the fire. It's nice to see that things aren't demons. Yes! Yes it is! Not everything has to be a demon from space trying to kill giant space goats. They're gone. They're gone. You know, I was thinking about it yesterday. They had to give us demon hunters in Legion because they were getting rid of Illidan. You know, they were putting Illidan in a safe little box somewhere far, far away, and this was the only chance to have the leader of the demon hunters say, "Hey, you need to help. You need to help the races of Azeroth." So, demon hunter was like a necessary evil for Legion. They had to do it. If they ever wanted to add demon hunters, that was the last chance they had. It's like Incarn for Guardians, no taunt cooldown. Yeah, that was really nice. That talent point was really nice. Let's go left. Seems that for AoE Prot does just fine. It's okay. It's okay. In terms of like rage generation, it's okay. If your Thunderclap is on the is on the cooldown, then the only other thing you have for AoE is Revenge. Which I'm not crazy that's our only option is something that's on a 6-second cooldown or something else that costs a ton of rage and hurts our survivability if we don't weave it well. So that's the only part to me that I'm kind of like not crazy about, but I guess that's just the design of things. Okay, so I'm gonna pop Last Stand here, the Last Stand with a bolster talent. So I'm blocking everything. I have Last Stand up. I'm not really taking damage. I need to stun them out of this, but I was polymorphed. I think Ignore Pain off of the global would help out a lot, and also if Ignore Pain scaled up just a little bit higher off of our attack power. Right now it's 500% of our attack power, and it used to be 2800% of our attack power. If it could get a little bit closer to that. Why is this? He's just evade bugging. What? Have they made any changes to IP since they brought it back? Not yet, John. Not yet. I want them to scale it a little bit better. I want it to be off of the global because right now it's just something else we need to press, and it's a very small bubble. All right, we need to. Oh no, the totems don't need to fall in any particular order. And I need to interrupt him, which is gonna happen right now. There it is. I think our toolkit would be really awesome if they just smooth out our single target rage regen. Yeah, I think rage regen in general right now, like you regen things in really big chunks and you eat them in really big chunks. I think if they just made the values a little bit smaller. In Legion, we didn't feel the ill effects of rage because with our artifact weapon, we naturally had 140 rage, 120 rage, something like that. And then the Netherlight Crucible, if you wanted to, or if you got those relics, you would also increase your rage pool up to about, I think by 30 rage. I think in total you could have a rage pool of 160 in Legion. So we had a new baseline larger rage pool, so rage capping wasn't that big of an issue. So it's definitely going to be a change of pace. And you guys see my last stand is already off of the cooldown, and I used it for the other trash. So let me pop that last stand right now. Let me see how it does only by itself. I'm not going to do ignore pain, nothing. Yeah, while it was up, it was only up for about 5 or 6 seconds. But while it was up, the damage seems very low. So that new bolster talent, putting in a lot of work. It's basically shield block plus last stand at the same time. Prot Warrior is a new hope. It's hopeful. I honestly don't feel like Prot Warriors are done yet, but it's better. It's in a way better place. They listen to us regarding bolster. Yes. So bolster is part of this, right? Like we used to just have defensive stance, which was our passive, right? So now we have this, which has bolster baked in. That second portion of that statement, armor increased by 40% of our strength, that is bolster. That is exactly what it was. It is now a passive. It costs no rage. So I'm very glad that all of that got changed. Alright, so I should be able to have last stand relatively soon when it comes to this fight. So we'll see. It's got another 40 seconds. I've got a weak aura on it, so we just gotta keep an eye on it. Let me run away so that we don't get that ad hitting us. That eager DPS that's pulling for me doesn't run away either. Alright, so while I have gaps in my shield block right now, I have to just be popping IP. That's going to be my only mitigation. I now have enough for a shield block, so let me go ahead and do Demo Shout to generate that rage. It just, for Prot Warriors right now, it seems like there's a few things that I wish were baked in because they just seem necessary for the current way of global cooldowns and rage costs and stuff like that. There's just a few things that feel necessary. Alright, so my last stand is up. It is ready. So I'll go ahead and pop. Oh no, I guess she's just gonna die. She's gonna die faster than that. And that's the new helmet. If you guys haven't seen the new Azurite traits, let me do this. Let me get rid of chat. And this is the new design for the Azurite trait system. So blocking and attack increases strength, and I'm gonna do that because shield block and last stand both are gonna guaranteed blocks. Lock that into place, and then yeah, I don't have the levels necessary for everything else, but that's actually pretty damn cool. Less clunkiness, making progress. Progress is the point, James. Looking better, not fixed yet, but looking better. Dragon Roar is a step in the right direction when we start thinking about endgame. I've heard a lot of people say that it's boring because we used to have Dragon's Roar. It's nothing new, but I'm okay with it because we need it. When we talk about Mythic Plus, when we talk about Sanguine, Raging, not really Sanguine, Raging bolstering necrotic, we need a snare that we can land. 25-second cooldown, 8-second uptime. Not the best, but it gets the job done. We don't need that snare every single pull. It'd be nice, but we don't need it every pull. So, you know, something like that is actually pretty cool. You surprised that Blizz did exactly what Beth suggested, make bolster passive? So when I do like my impression videos or my feedback, I try to give feedback of stuff that they've already done, that is already kind of built into World of Warcraft. So it's a lot easier to tell them, implement this that you already used to implement back into the game, as opposed to telling them, wouldn't it be cool if you could implement a brand new ability that does all of this and all of that, and it's going to come with new animations, new design structure, new balancing patches. It's a lot easier to suggest things that like already existed. So yeah, normally when I make my feedback, I'm like, these are things that already existed in WoW. Why don't we take a look at that again? Why don't we bring that back? But yeah, that new bolster is looking really good, which means that my weak aura for bolster doesn't matter anymore. This can go away. This one here that's for last stand uptime is the new bolster talent. So there's that. Good afternoon, Sarg. How you doing, man? BfA testing. BfA testing is going good. They broke a lot this latest patch, so unfortunately I can't randomly queue up for heroics. Like it's bugged right now. It says that I need my Heart of Azeroth. Like things are very broken, but the new patch itself is a welcome change. I can't log out and log back in smoothly, so I'm trying to see if I can find. In fact, you know what? Let me just I have to close. I just have to close the window. I can't log out. So let me show you guys the new that like Azurite person that I'm talking about. I think it's gonna be for resetting Azurite traits. So unfortunately, right now on the beta, you can't just like log out like a normal log out. It's just like, nope. If you try to log out, it crashes, and sometimes the crash is even delayed. So I can try to log out right now, and then it'll be like, no, we're just gonna crash. Clunky, someone got past. There was one guy who was really angry that I used the word clunky, and he said, "You didn't provide any good feedback. You just said clunky. That's a buzzword." And I was like, "You didn't watch the video. I provided a lot of feedback." Uh-oh. It's gonna take me all the way back to Stormwind, so let me actually just do this. Do a mythic. They're broken right now. I can't. They're broken. Oh yeah, you're talking about that epic, that guy? Yeah, that guy got upset. It happens a lot. There's always gonna be people that are upset. So let me go back. I wanna show you guys that new Azurite guy. Maybe he's working today. I actually haven't tested him out today. So where is he? So with Azurite traits right now, we have no way of resetting all the things. I don't have the level requirement for that. Okay. There's no way of resetting the points, right? I can't select this. But if I go here, there's this guy. You guys see him? Azurite Reforger. He doesn't work yet. He doesn't work yet, but you know, this is going to be the guy. You click Mr. Azurite Reforger in Ethereal, and I believe for probably a fee of like 10, 20, 50, 100 gold, he's going to be able to reset all of those talents. So if you have multiple specs, you're going to have to pay money. That's at least that's what they said in the Q&A. In the Q&A, they said that you're going to have to pay in order to reforge your Azurite gear. They don't want you to do it as like willy-nilly as before. So unfortunately, if you have different specs, your best bet, if you also don't want to pay any money, is to carry around different sets of gear. But also, for the different sets of gear, like this one has this blocking talent, right? So if I'm full prot, I'm always prot. This one has a blocking talent. This helmet that I have right here only has a judgment talent. Every time I judge someone, it reduces the damage taken by melees for 8 seconds. So every single piece is going to have a different gear. So your best in slot for your DPS spec is probably going to be different than your best in slot for your protection spec. Probably going to be different than best in slot for your range spec for your DPS spec. So anything healing spec. So anything like that, we're still probably going to have to carry around different pieces of gear if you want to fully optimize. Now, if you don't care for a 100 mastery while I have Avenging Wrath, because every piece of gear, that's like the equivalent of like 2 pieces of gear of mastery, or one if we're talking about a heavy one like legs. So it's not that crazy to just say I don't care about my Azurite traits, because only a few of them are going to be increasing your throughput. And let me show you guys just again those animations. Let's see, can I do all 3? I can do all 3. So if I was going to do this one, I'll probably pick up this one. Gives me haste as opposed to reducing melee by 400. Like I have 113,000 damage. I don't think 400 is going to really do too much. And judgment is on a single target. Surrounded by a shield when I'm surrounded by 4 or more enemies. That's nice. As opposed to when I'm stunned, I heal for 800. I have 113,000 HP. Why do I care about a heal for 800? So that's my if you guys saw my Azurite trait, my Azurite gear explained video, one of my complaints is that the numbers are too low. This doesn't feel like epic gear. They're saying that this gear is enhanced with the blood of the Titan. Like our planet is bleeding. We're grabbing the blood of our planet and infusing it, which is it's, I think in the lore, it's the strongest planet to ever exist. And we're putting it on our armor, and that's less than 1% of my health. It just, there's a severe disconnect between what they're telling us and this. If it was just like artificially infused and they weren't telling us that it's Azurite and how strong Azurite is, I don't think I'd have that big of a problem. But they're telling us like the strongest thing on this planet can heal you for less than 1%. Couldn't catch me doing a live stream for now. Had to wake up early. Nice. Dippy, welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. So let's queue up for a random dungeon on this guy. Toldagor is broken. Doesn't let you go in. So let's queue up for these. Underrot was broken last time we were in there. The last boss was impossible. Motherload broke for me late last night. I was getting footage so I can do a Prot Paladin video for you guys. Motherload, the RP and Motherload didn't start, so one of the bosses was completely glitched out, couldn't even start the encounter, and the last boss wouldn't transition from phase 2 to phase 3. So this last patch broke a lot of things. It added a lot of new things, but it broke a lot of things. Let me actually let me go to Stormwind so that I can beat up a dummy and show you guys things on Prot Paladins. It's raining. It's going to be a wet farmer's market this morning. Nice. And you're out in New Zealand. I'm sure there's a nice smell of like wet dirt out there. You know what I mean? It's always refreshing to get that. How does Prot feel compared to other tanks? Are our kit able to keep up with others? Does the spec feel fun to play? Are we talking about Prot Paladins or Prot Warriors? If we're talking about Prot Warriors, I want to say they're like 80% there. Yeah, they're close. They still need a little bit more. Honestly, if they gave us back the old Ignore Pain off of the global cooldown, I think would be fine. But that's the quick and dirty fix, and the ability for a tank to put bubbles on themselves, I know is really weird, but it seems like they already are like, we don't know how else to fix this. Here, have your bubble back, but really nerfed. So, yeah, Prot Warriors are feeling okay. Paladins, very strong. Very strong. I give a lot of concern and suggestions on how to improve Prot Warrior. It's a great vid. Thank you. I appreciate it, Epic. Unfortunately, not everybody thought so. Alright, so let me try to get away from the noise of everybody casting a little bit. So let me show you guys this. We have the new talent, Redoubt. So it increases my block by 75%. So unfortunately, this talent point doesn't scale that great with me right now because I have a really bad shield. In order for me to do heroics, I need to be item level 305. This is an item level 266 shield. Like, my shield is very bad. It's just a random green that I got from a trash mob while leveling. They'll get better with eye level? Yes. What is my favorite class in terms of fun in BfA right now? I would probably say, with yesterday's patch, Paladin or Vengeance Demon Hunter. I think if we talk about only fun, those are the two funnest classes for me right now. The only reason why Prot Warrior has fallen to the side a little bit is because it's not done. So when you play with that class, you just feel it. You're like, there's something missing. Prot Warriors have the disadvantage of every ability being different. Your abilities are either only offensive or only defensive. Prot Warriors have no double dipping. There's you know, you don't use shield slam and gain more uptime on your shield block. Like, that's not a thing. Everything is exclusively different. So there's no way for you to gain defensive properties while being offensive. And Prot Warriors are the only ones that have that. Something like Prot Paladin, whenever I throw my Avenger Shield, I get Redoubt right now. Standing in my Consecrate lowers the amount of damage taken. My Judgment, if I have Judgment of Light, does passive heals for everyone. You know, if I'm rotating my Hammer of the Righteous for filler, I can get a free Avenger Shield, which again is going to increase my block. By doing Judgment, I also reduce the cooldown of my Shield of the Righteous, my active mitigation. There's a lot of double dipping. Demon Hunters, whenever I cast Spirit Bomb, I heal by eating the soul fragments, and I also put Frailty debuff, which is kind of like Leech. So Soul Cleave does damage, and it also does healing. So a lot of classes have like these double dip abilities. Death Strike applies your active mitigation and heals you for a really good amount. It also does a lot of damage. Marrow Strike does a lot of damage, throws on Bone Shield. Like, every class has like this weird double dip thing that Prot Warriors just don't have. For Prot Warriors, your decision is always generate rage and be offensive and generate aggro, or be defensive, consume rage and be defensive. So the choices just, they're so separated, and it almost feels a little bit punishing, to be honest. That's new. I don't remember that route happening before. Why don't I play with Holy Shield and Seraphim? Holy Shield does a lot of magical mitigation. Seraphim is a good toolkit. Yeah, I need to do Seraphim right now, to be honest. I've never played with Seraphim, so like I've played a little bit. Wait, did they pull other stuff over there? Why are they over there? Guys, I'm over here. So I've never played with Seraphim, so I don't have the muscle memory baked in. In live, I wasn't crazy about Seraphim because of the fact that it ate your active mitigation, and the one complaint that there was about Prot Paladins in live and Legion is the fact that their active mitigation already had really bad uptime. It only lasted like 2 or 3 seconds. It lacked a lot of uptime. So unless you had really heavy amounts of haste. So yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm not used to the Seraphim. So even if I spec'd into it right now, I probably wouldn't be hitting it. But why am I not spec'd into Holy Shield? Because the new talent point, Redoubt, is really strong. Every time I throw my shield, you see it right here. Block increased by 75%. If I had a better shield, it would be doing a much better job. But still, I gain I gain that passive block. The one thing that like Paladins have had a shield just like Prot Warriors, but it's gone like largely ignored. If you just like block value for Paladins just hasn't really been a thing in all of Legion until the last tier, and that's only if you don't have SOTR charges up. So yeah, the new talent point is actually pretty damn cool. It gives you that block chance, and it has really good uptime. If you take a look at my uptime of Redoubt, I need to create a weak aura for it so that we can all kind of like look at the uptime together. But the uptime is actually really good on it. But yeah, Seraphim, with the new mastery, Seraphim becomes a survivability talent. I 100% agree. It's just going to give you flat damage reduction and a little bit of attack power. The traits themselves will get much better with item levels, so that's why 800 heal will get... it's going to get better, but think of it this way. It's going to scale, right? So if I double my HP, by that point, I'm going to have double attack power. I'm going to have double stuff. So by the time I double my HP, the Azurite trait is probably going to be doubled as well. But that means that from an 800 heal, it's going to go from an 800 to 1600, but at that point I'm gonna have 200,000 HP. So it's going to scale upwards, I agree, but the amount of impact it has in comparison to your HP pool, or like how your effective HP pool, is going to remain roughly the same. That's how most things are designed. They're designed to make a very similar impact on your stats as the expansion goes on. So given that, I just feel like they need to be a little bit stronger. It could just be me though. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that Azurite traits are just a little bit weak right now. The actual design of them, what they do, I'm perfectly okay with. But I just feel like they could be doing a little bit more scaling, a little bit more damage, a little bit more healing, a little bit more utility, secondary stats, you know, things like that. Slootbag has done the math. If you took the damage from bosses, if you play Holy Shield, you agree that the new talent is good for physical? Yes. Yes, the new talent is only going to be good for physical, because that's how, you know, block value is only physical. Holy Shield does 60% of incoming magic damage, right? Regardless of if you have SOTR up or not, or 40% or something like that. I forget the value, but yeah, I was yeah, Holy Shield is crazy for magic damage. I agree. Holy Shield is better in general scenarios because we now lack magic mitigation. I agree. I have 100 of these Tomes of the Tranquil Mind, so I think these tomes are going to become very crucial. It's going to be like, am I doing trash for Mythic Plus? Let me pick up Redoubt. And then, am I doing a boss fight? Let me tome, pick up the other one. So, yeah, I agree. You find Prot Warriors fun because of those juicy Thunderclap animations. Actus, not only that, we also have the Shield Slam animations, too. The only ability that does that for Prot Warrior is Booming Voice and Demo Shout. Yes. I'm glad you said that about Prot Warriors. You feel like playing a Prot Warrior is like being a DPS class, and you don't need to tank, you feel like a DPS. Yeah, the RP is not working, guys. You know how I told you guys that the RP wasn't working yesterday for the Mother Load? Look at that. The RP isn't starting here either. This boss is just not gonna pull. Yesterday's patch, man, just broke so much. So much. Completely reworked Fury yesterday, and they might change it. Yes. So Fury itself actually changed in terms of how it is right now, and they already said that it's going to change more. So yeah, Fury is undergoing a lot of changes, my friend. A lot of changes. I don't want to take a look at it yet because those final changes aren't yet implemented. Do I think they're going to make any big changes to Prot Warrior, or possible that they'll release it just as now? Love your thoughts and arguments on the spec. I don't think any big changes, like any big significant changes. I really doubt it. A few changes, yes. My honest thoughts are that they're going to make Ignore Pain scale a little bit better with attack power. Probably about twice as much as it is now. So like right now it offers like a 10-12% bubble of my maximum HP. They're probably going to make it do about 20% of my max HP, keep the rage cost the same, take it off of the global cooldown, and that's it. They're not going to give us the old ignore pain, which scales almost 5 times as high as the current one does now. So they're not going to give us that old ignore pain that's currently alive, that's scaling 5 times as much as the current one is. They're going to give us this nerfed version of it. They're going to take it off of the global, and then after the first tier, they're going to rework warriors. So they're just going to like slowly start reworking warriors in the PTR so that they can buy like another 2 or 3 months of actual development time, because the game comes out very soon. 2 months we have pre-patch. Less than 2 months actually, probably like a month and a half we have pre-patch. So there's not that much more they can do right now. They can't redesign Prot Warriors from the ground up like they wanted to. They just have to kind of deal with the way that Prot Warriors are now. I mean, giving us back Ignore Pain is a clear sign of that. If they hadn't given us back Ignore Pain, I'd agree that like we have no idea what we're going to see. I don't know what we're going to see. Things are going to be very different. But they made it clear that at this point they're just like, alright, we can't redesign the class. We can't start fresh and brand new for this tanking class. We just got to give them back a little of what they had, make them viable, and then we can worry about making them good, making them feel good. I just don't want to be the survival hunters of BfA. The very weird rotation filling classes that nothing really feels like it interacts. Everything feels very separated and odd. I don't want to be survival hunters of the tanking world. By the way, they changed the block works different right now, if you didn't notice. Yes. Block is going to scale a lot better as the expansion goes on. So one of the really big concerns that has always existed with Prot Warriors is that in the beginning of the expansion, they tuned them in such a way that they feel great. So Prot Warriors are always like blocking a ton of damage. Their mitigation is really good. As soon as the expansion starts, like they feel good. But as the expansion goes on, that block starts scaling upwards. Everything starts scaling upwards, and then they start mitigating too much damage, and it's like, wait. Where do these Prot Warriors? How are they scaling so much better than everything? How are they doing so much? And then it turns out this is a wipe. I'm not even getting healed. Yeah, people will just keep pulling trash packs. If you guys didn't see the demon, I was still actively tanking something, and the demon hunter was just staring at the next pull and like, why isn't he pulling? Why isn't he pulling? And then just was like, I'm gonna pull for him. I don't know why he's not pulling, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so Prot Warriors always suffered from the scaling. Like they scale really well, and blocking. I think blocking is inherently flawed, because a regular block is 30% of damage and a crit block is 60%. Decreasing the amount of damage you take by 60% is a huge cooldown, because shield wall is only 50%. Shield wall is our go-to biggest mitigator, and it's only 50%. I'm asking if anyone has repair. If not, I need to go back to Stormwind. Is this person stuck in combat? No. Okay. So yeah, I think warriors were always suffering from that, and I think the new block that they reworked and changed, I think it's going to make it so that we don't need to get reworked 2 tiers into an expansion. Like, there isn't going to be, wait, where did this class come up from? We need to completely nerf things. We need to change everything. This is ridiculous. They're complaining that the other bosses are going to be bugged too. Maybe. But I really want to test all of this out. All of the new stuff out. So yeah, the new readout has really good uptime, by the way. Look at this. Just refreshing it. Let's walk her out of that. What will happen on pre-patch? Why most Legion stuff will be gone by then? In pre-patch, they're going to introduce the new talent points. They're probably going to introduce the new scaling as well. So when pre-patch hits, you're gonna have a lot less HP. Magic mitigation is gonna disappear. Like just a lot of things are gonna go away when pre-patch hits. There's gonna be the new quest lines, like the I believe the Lordaeron and Teldrassil quest lines are gonna be added. So the scenarios anyway. So yeah. Assuming those changes you just mentioned go through, will I be playing Prot next X-Pack? I will be playing Prot next X-Pack Math Tutor, regardless of the changes. If Protection Warriors feel really bad, like they're super weak, then I won't be maining a Prot Warrior for progression runs with my guild, because I don't see the point in stressing out my healers for no reason other than me being hard-headed and me saying I want to play a Prot Warrior. But if they can compete, if Prot Warriors are competitive, if we don't take intense, crazy amounts of damage in comparison to other tanks, then I will be playing my Prot Warrior for progression. But either way, I'm going to have 2 tanks, and it's probably going to be a Prot Warrior and a Vengeance Demon Hunter. My co-tank is going to be a Prot Paladin. My other choice would be doing Prot Paladin as well as Prot Warrior, the 2 shielded tanks, but there's only so much utility you get out of Paladins, and I think bringing in 2 Paladins to 1 raid is too much. You start stacking 4 Barons. Yeah, you start getting very diminished results from their utility kit, which is a big reason for Prot Paladin. So probably going to be doing Prot Warrior and Vengeance Demon Hunter. As far as which one's going to be my main, if Prot Warriors can be competitive, sticking with Prot Warriors. And I stuck with the Prot Warrior all throughout Legion because there was ways to make it competitive. So as long as there's a way, whether or not I have to spec very specific, as long as it's not frustrating and like an uphill struggle and I'm just taking twice as much damage as my co-tank just because I'm a warrior, I'll be okay with it and I'll play them. So yeah, something else for those of you guys who are just tuning in, I did do all of the quick maths. Shout out to Big Shaq for quick maths on the new Paladin mastery, and the unfortunate answer is it's okay, but it scales 50% slower than versatility. The only thing you get out of mastery is increased in attack power, but versatility increases damage done and healing done. So I think versatility for right now, unless they scale mastery upwards, versatility is going to be a better stat than mastery. So if we're talking about like secondary stats for Prot Paladins, I feel like it's going to be haste verse right now, and mastery is just going to be an afterthought. Like mastery and verse are going to have a similar impact, but verse is going to be better than mastery in every situation. Versatility also doesn't require you to stand in your consecrate like mastery does, so it's just an always on thing. Saves you a global cooldown and saves you from being able to just stand in one place, saves you from magic damage. So the new mastery looks really good on paper until you really just take a look at how it scales, and it's a linear scaling as well. It's not at least I haven't seen the diminishing returns of it. I did a lot of the calculations yesterday, and you know, I plotted quite a few points to be able to see if it decreased. Very linear. So it's not that the mastery is weak, it's that versatility is just a little bit better, which is unfortunately one of those choices where it's like, I feel boring now. There's not much choices. Versatility is a very boring stat, and I agree, versatility is a very boring stat, but it helps you be the one tank that's like going to be mitigating magic probably better than some of the other ones. Not better than DKs, you can't beat AMS at all, but yeah, you're probably going to be doing good magic mitigation because of it. But yeah, the new Prot Paladin feels very strong. Actually utilizing their shield with redoubt feels good. As your shield scales up, Like, I'm glad we went from the system of having artifact weapons. It was cool in terms of lore because we got these really powerful weapons. But what I didn't like was never being able to upgrade my weapon as the expansion went on. I always had the same one. Seeing weapon and shield drops in BfA is going to be exciting again, especially for tanks. Shields mean something again. If you want to be tankier, your first thing is upgrade your shield. If you have a really bad shield, you're going to be getting destroyed because things are scaling off of that block value. And then the way that block value and armor work now, its shields are such a huge upgrade. And that's as a tank with a shield, it feels good, man. It feels good, man. I hope they don't pull the boss. Okay, we're good. How's my healer? They're good on banner. Alright, let's pull this boss. Also, one cool thing about the mastery is the fact that there's a lot of those trinkets that have mastery. Whether they have mastery or verse now, they're still going to be good. Again, those verse ones are going to be a little bit better, but mastery giving that flat survivability makes it feel okay. Mastery was already good before for Prot Paladins, but now it's like a flat damage reduction even to magic. Feels good. I need to get this reinforcing ward. Okay, we're good. Let me move them out. Come on. There it is. Let me move them out of the swiftness ward. Did somebody taunt off me? Yes, they did. Somebody called, like, Leoags? What? I just lost threat then? Because that's a rogue. As far as I know, rogues don't have a taunt button. Rogues don't have rock biter to put on their weapon. Let me pop Ardent Defender for this hindering cleave. I don't have active mitigation. Okay, we're good. It was nice to hear a tank say how's my healer before a large pull. Oh, dude, I always check my healer's mana. I was a main healer for Burning Crusade when I played. Ooh, no, not an upgrade. When I played vanilla, I was playing Ret Paladin and Hunter, so you know, just DPS, just hitting things. But when I played BC, I was a main Holy Paladin for my guild at the time. Not a very good guild, not gonna lie to you, but we did do Kara, we did ZA. ZA was fun, but yeah, I always have to check on my healer. You can't blame your healer if you pulled too soon for your healer. You can't blame your healer on a wipe if you pulled too soon and your healer had no mana. It's not your healer's fault. Your healer was probably spamming drinks in a corner trying to gobble them down. Oh no, we don't want to pull this yet. We have a pat, and this guy hurts. Oh, what I meant to say was, yeah, that's cool. Let's just pull the things. Alright. Sometimes I misspeak. Okay, so this guy does an AoE cast that stacks. This thing right here. Lucky for me, I'm on my Paladin, and Paladins have built-in interrupt into their Avenger shield. So that's also a really big plus for Paladins that I enjoy. Just having that Avenger shield have an interrupt, and you can get free procs. Your average Avenger shield is probably like every 5 seconds, so you know that feels really nice. Have I done any raid testing as a tank yet? Yes, not every single one. The first raid testing I did it as a healer because there was no groups that needed a tank. Every group had a tank, but every other raid testing since then I have done as a tank. All you've heard is that Vengeance Demon Hunter is so much better and fun to play than anything else currently. So they haven't done raid testing since they reworked the Azurite traits. So one of the things that was really cool about the Vengeance Demon Hunter is the fact that their Azurite traits were so much stronger than anyone else's. So everybody else gets Azurite traits that's like, hey, you get a little bit more block when your active mitigation falls off. You get a little bit more haste. You get some more mastery. You know, it was very minimal. Vengeance Demon Hunters had a point, an Azurite trait, which was whenever you apply Fiery Brand to someone, as soon as it falls off, you get a bubble for 100% of that damage that it did. So if you were doing like 7,000 Fiery Brand damage on a boss, not only do you first have the initial portion of Fiery Brand that reduces damage taken, you then have a 7,000 bubble on top of that. Like they had a better version of Ignore Pain built into their Azurite traits. Now, a lot of the Azurite traits have been rebuilt for a lot of the classes, so we should be seeing other classes start feeling a little bit better as well. But for those raid testing moments, yeah, the Vengeance Demon Hunter, these guys with their AoE stuns, I honestly couldn't see the way that they were casting them. This was too cluttered. Yeah, the Azurite traits made them feel really fun. My biggest complaint about a Vengeance Demon Hunter is that I feel that they need one more cooldown, and that Azurite trait gives them one more defensive cooldown. That's exactly what it does. Right after they cast that Fiery Brand, they gain like a 10% bubble. Automatic. No global cooldown necessary to invest. Nothing else necessary. It just applies. Am I going to tank on Prot Warrior today? Yes. Yes. So I just did one dungeon earlier, Lugs. Sorry you missed it, but I just did one with the Prot Warrior before this. I'm doing this one here now, and I'll hop back on my Prot Warrior in a little bit. Unfortunately, it's not as easy to switch right now because there's no way of logging out and going to the character screen. You have to completely exit the client. If you try to log out, you get an error. So, and the app crashes. So I got to I'll do a little bit more Prot Paladin, and then I've got to switch over by just completely closing WoW and hopping on over. How does Prot Warrior drop stacks if the other tank doesn't taunt? You don't. You deal with it. You rotate Last Stand, you rotate Shield Wall, start spamming Ignore Pain, you deal with it. There is no dropping stacks. Prot Paladins can drop stacks. DKs can drop stacks. Not every tank can drop stacks. Like monks can't drop stacks, but their stagger arguably does really well. So at least this RP works. But yeah, Prot Warriors don't drop stacks.
Stop this madness at once.
Holy Paladin is fun. Oh man.
We must return to the sea.
Good deal, yeah, for sure, Lugs. By the way, Lugs, the new talent of Dragon Roar is gonna be really cool for when they introduce Mythic Plus. Right now Mythics are broken, so I know that there was a lot of data mined information about Mythic Pluses being in this build, but there's currently no way of getting into a Mythic dungeon, so there's no way for me to be like, are the Mythic keys in? I have no idea, because Mythics are broken. There it is. Come on, pick up the orbs. Perfect. Now we gotta beat you up. Fight Club. Fight Club. Beat up the Warlock. There it is. Is it a Warlock? Yes. Alright, so any new Azurite traits that you feel excited about Prot Paladin and Prot Warrior? Yes! The new Prot Warrior one is cool. So the old Prot Warrior one was, if you Thunderclap only one target, you get a bubble for like 400 HP. Which, first of all, that bubble for 400 HP, that's honestly like, if one of the new critters cleaved me, that was 400 damage, right? So it was bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like that small of a bubble. Also, I needed to only cleave one. I only needed to Thunderclap one person. So 90% of the time in a dungeon, it wasn't gonna work. It just wasn't gonna work. In a dungeon, that would only be for boss fights, and even then, like this boss fight you saw right there, that was a cleave fight a lot of the times. The previous boss fight, cleave fight. The first boss fight is single target for half the fight, and then there's multiple targets for the other half the fight. So that old talent point was garbage. I'm glad it's gone. The new talent point is Thunderclap increases the time of the debuff of Demo Shout on your target by like 2 seconds. I'm excited for that one. That means that Thunderclap gives you 20% reduction in damage taken for 2 seconds. And so if you pop Avatar, every other cooldown is Thunderclap. So that means that that new Azurite trait and the new Avatar, with that new talent point of Avatar, is going to be insane. It's just going to provide so much damage reduction. So I'm looking forward to that. Drix, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying the content. If you have any questions, go ahead and just let me know in the chat. So yeah, that new Azurite trait where the duration of Demo Shout is increased every time you Thunderclap is great. I love it. Love it. That's one of those things that it's like, you guys did think about this one. You guys designed new things, right? You guys designed a new way of Thunderclap working with Avatar, being very, very heavy on using that Thunderclap and having it be part of your core rotation. Now we also have Demo Shout on a shorter cooldown. It's going to be one of those reliable defensives that we have every 45 seconds. Like, things are good. They're looking up. These land sharks right here, guys. These land eels. Let me pop Blessing of Spell Warning. I don't want to get too many stacks of this debuff, to be completely honest with you. That debuff, it's a killer. I don't have any stacks right now, but the DPS has got to do a little bit more to cleave him. Come on, guys. We got to take him down. Blessing of Spell Warding, by the way, amazing. Since they took away all of the magic mitigation from tanks, Blessing of Spell Warding, I am so jealous. So jealous as a Prot Warrior. You really want to see the Gluttony baked into Soul Carver, just as I mentioned. Yes, Actus, I completely agree. So here's the sad reality of Demon Hunters is the Demon Hunter was introduced in Legion, right? So the Demon Hunter was built with the artifact weapon in mind. Like when they balanced the Demon Hunter, they balanced the Demon Hunter knowing that the weapon was going to be a core part of gameplay in Endgame Legion. Like they knew this. This was for sure guaranteed. They knew that the artifact weapon was strong. So when they designed the Demon Hunter, they didn't want to over-design a Demon Hunter, and they wanted to have them be... Why am I... What? I'm drowning? Whoa, that's a new mechanic. Okay. So they designed that Demon Hunter knowing that I was going to have that weapon. So stuff like Gluttony, it was balanced. It was shown to be, hey, you know what? When you have a Demon Hunter, you have Gluttony. There is no what ifs or buts. There is no, like, it's not a trinket, it's not a talent choice. It's part of your class. So now that we're going with the system where there is no artifact weapon, Demon Hunters are unfortunately going to feel it. They're going to feel the side effects of it because they were designed as a class with those artifact weapons in mind since they were introduced in Legion. So the sad part is that they might lose a little bit of that in terms of Havoc and Vengeance, not just Vengeance. Both of these specs are probably going to lose a little bit just because of that, and they're just a victim of their own circumstances. If they would have existed as a tank before Legion, they would have other things in their kit that could balance any of these changes off, but they don't. So getting rid of a lot of what Legion did is going to hurt them disproportionately to other tanks. Nice, I got an upgrade. Can I... Nope, my Heart of Azeroth isn't leveled up enough. They need to also start changing the drop rate of Azurite inside of islands. That's gonna be huge. Does Spell Warding cause you to drop aggro if you cast it on yourself? Nope. Not at all. Spell Warding does two things. It gives you forbearance, and it stops, well, I guess three things. It stops you from taking magic damage, and it stops you from getting more magic effects from being applied. Immunity to magical damage and harmful effects for 10 seconds cannot be used, causes forbearance. So, causes forbearance, you can't get any more stacks of magic debuffs, and it gives you immunity to the current stacks that you have now. So it doesn't instantly drop the stacks. They time out. Since it lasts 10 seconds, if the stack lasts less than 10 seconds, then they fall off because they time out. But you don't take damage from them ticking, and you can't get new ones. The devs are adjusting Fury too? Yes. Rick, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Welcome. And Ol, welcome for the subscription. I appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying the content. And Fury is being adjusted a lot. Like right now, they already changed it and put out the patch. And as soon as the patch went up, they instantly put up another poster like, wait, we're going to change it again. We're going to change it again. So, still waiting for that. So, let me show you guys how this redoubt works. So, I have a certain block chance, which this block chance is strictly tied to my shield, right? I have 2,632 block. You guys see that right there? So, if you mouse over the block, I have 2,632 armor against an attack. Blocking adds armor against an attack, increasing physical damage reduction to 47%. So armor right now, my physical armor is 32%. If I block, that 32 gets increased to 47. But the better shield I get, let me actually go to the auction house, see if I can snag a better shield, see if anyone, because this is such a bad shield, I wouldn't doubt it if someone has a better green. So as my shield scales upward, this block chance is going to increase. So in terms of like the redoubt talent point, this is going to scale better and better. It's going to give me more armor as my shield gets better and better. Is it just considered offhand? Armor? Plate? No? Miscellaneous? Shield? There it is. Level... Whoa. How much gold do I have? 14k? I would need to transfer a lot of gold. And right now you can't log out, log back in. So I can't really do much about that cost. I have 14k. Is this better than mine? No, that's the same thing. 2632. Yeah, it would have to be the blue. This is a level 110. Oh man, I would need to start transferring some gold over, which would take a long time since the app crashes a lot. Just home thoughts on the new Prot Warrior. Rick, it's not completely done. The new Prot Warrior isn't done. It's a very good step in the right direction, though. Very good step in the right direction. There's still a few more things. Oh, I do have another shield here that I can test things out on. So the new Prot Warrior, I think the last few things that they need to do to the Prot Warrior are take Ignore Pain off of the global cooldown, make it scale a little bit more, and I think we're gonna be okay. The new bolster is crazy. I used it right now. Before I ran a dungeon with this Paladin, I used the new bolster talent in a dungeon, and it was mitigating so much. It just, details doesn't necessarily show everything in terms of like how things are going like that. It shows like very, very generic, very big things with the block. But yeah, it's very good. The new bolster is very, very good. I like the fact that they took the old bolster talent point and baked it into our spec. So it's now part of Vanguard, what they renamed the defensive stance. It has bolster baked in, it's passive, it costs no rage, it's just always on. So that's really, really, really good. And the new bolster talent point, I really like it. It's going to be really good for an anger management build. That being said, I feel like anger management build is the go-to way of making your Prot Warrior work right now. I think if you try to go for a low haste, heavy repercussions build, you're going to end up being punished for it a little bit more. So I want them to open up builds a little bit more like they do right now with something like this, where I can go Redoubt, I can go Holy Shield for a boss fight, I can go Blessed Hammer for AoE and start fishing for Avenger Shield procs if I have that. If I have that, Avenger Shield gives me a bubble Azurite trait. You know, I can change things up here. I can even go Aegis of Light if I'm going to be running a raid with AoE damage, I can make all of the raids stack up behind me, use this. That's something that happened in live in Legion when we were doing Kill Jaden. My co-tank, he actually used Aegis of Light and did it that way. So Seraphim is going to be really good as a defensive now. Seraphim is putting in a lot of work. Let me actually put Seraphim here, because it increases mastery and haste and verse. Like, all of these things are going to be reducing damage. Well, haste doesn't directly, but indirectly it does. You know, there's a lot more room to experiment here than there is on the Prot Warrior. But that being said, we don't feel completely broken anymore. We don't feel like terrible tanks anymore. I'm sorry, I forgot that the live chat wasn't here anymore. Sorry, guys. Yeah, active mitigation is just crazy strong for Prot, and I don't see us ever using heavy repercussions or LOL Ravager. Dude, LOL Ravager. So, warriors used to have this thing called Rage from Damage Taken, which is every time you took, I believe, 1% of your max HP, you would get 5 Rage. And it was like an internal cooldown, or maybe 1 Rage. I forget the exact numbers. It was on a bit of an internal cooldown as well. But we used to have Rage from Damage Taken. They took that away. So now, every time we get auto attack by a mob, we gain 3 Rage, and it has an internal cooldown of like 1 second. And that means that stuff like avoidance is detrimental to us. We are going to generate a lot less rage if we don't take that auto attack. So Ravager is counterintuitive because it gives us avoidance. Trying to go a heavy crit build is also counterintuitive. It just, I don't want to dodge, parry, or have any avoidance because I'm going to need my rage, because the rage cost for shield block is higher. The rage cost for revenge is higher. I now have ignore pain that doesn't scale off of my rage. It has a fixed rage cost. So my rage costs have gone up. Why would I want avoidance if it decreases the amount of rage I gain? So stuff like Ravager, I think it heavily needs to be looked at. Ravager could be a really cool cooldown. The idea of me having an extra AoE thing, an extra AoE talent to pick up trash, so that if I overgear a Mythic Plus, if I'm like crazy overgeared, I'm doing a Mythic Plus 2, and I have a ton of gear, I can do a really big pull, throw a Ravager down, I hold everything. It sounds super cool, but the actual like defensive effects of it, not very good. By the way, just checked Bolster on beta a few minutes ago, 110, had 47% baseline. Bolster gave you 6%. You don't see the armor effect. Oh, yeah. So Bolster is baked in. So if you go to your spells and go all the way to the end, you have this thing called Vanguard Bolster. The old Bolster, which increases your armor by increases your armor by 40% of your strength. That bolster is baked into your new defensive stance, which is called Vanguard now. So they took away the old bolster and gave it to us as a passive. It's always on. It's part of being a protection warrior, which I love. I love it. So yeah, it's they changed it. Are we lapping IP and SS or picking on damage, i.e. magic, or yeah? So right now, if I want ignore pain to be off of the global, so we don't have to make that choice of should I do ignore pain? Should I shield slam? Should I spell reflect is off the global now, so we don't have to worry about that. But like, we don't have to do these weird decisions. So if I'm looking here at my Prot Paladin, my block is 2,637. Let me pull up a calculator. 2632. 2632. So if I increase that by 75%, it's going to go up to 4,611. So you guys see blocking adds an extra 2,600 armor, increasing damage reduction of 47%. So my armor right now does 32%. If I block, I'm going to block 47%. With the new redoubt, this 2,600 should become 4,600. So there it is, 4,000. It's actually a little bit less than 75%, but okay. That's fine. Things get rounded up. So that means that this used to do 32. This now goes up to 47. that with redoubt goes up to 54. That's an extra 7% mitigation on a block. Now my block chance is unaffected by redoubt, and block chance is more based off of that base block. But this is critical to know that, like, this is a really old shield, right? So now I go from 29 to 38, and then I pop this, goes to 43. So my shield makes that 43 jump up to 54. Your shield upgrades are going to be massive in terms of survivability. Massive. So this shield has 2,600 block. If I go into a dungeon, I go into a Tall Desire, which is going to have a really good shield from this guy. Regular shield, look at that, 5,000 block. 5,000 block, that's twice as much as I have right now. I have a terrible shield. So, increasing this by twice as much. So I have 32% mitigation. That jumps up to 47. That is a 15% upgrade. Armor isn't linear. So arguably, this guy, instead of doing 15% upgrade like my current shield, this guy would make redoubt do like 20 to 22% more damage mitigation on a block. I like that shields matter again. I like that shield upgrades matter again. I like it. I like it a lot. Figured you'd see 53% armor baseline number. Yeah, James, it's all baked in now. I love it. I love it, man. So yeah, this new redoubt talent point is going to be really good for trash mobs and also for heavy physical damage boss mobs. Holy Shield is going to take priority in the large majority of fights. If we have another Croesus or Star Augur, Holy Shield 100%. No questions, just 100%. Redoubt is going to be more of a generalist for Mythic Plus, because you should have decent interrupts with Avenger Shield. Your group should also have decent interrupts, so you should be getting those auto attacks. And redoubt is going to be, you know, depending on the magic damage going out on a boss fight, it'll be between redoubt and Holy Shield. Sorry, I got the hiccups. So blocking isn't RNG anymore. Are you missing something? Blocking is RNG on a Prot Paladin. On a Prot Warrior, it's a little bit different. So I have a 23% block chance. Oh, I thought that... Wait, I thought block chance changed according to my block value. Oh, I guess not. So that got reworked too. So it's a 23% block chance. Not quite sure why that isn't changing. But 23% chance to increase my armor. So if you see my block value here on this shield, that block value is extra armor that is only dependent of blocking my shield. So the best way to explain it is kind of like a real world scenario. Only 23% of the time am I going to raise my shield and have it in front of me to block the sword that's hitting me. So when I do have that 23% chance and I increase my shield and I block with it, I then use the shield's mitigation as part of the calculation. That block value you guys see there, the 2,600%, is now added on top of my current armor. So my armor here is almost 3,000. That means that I'm going to almost double my armor for that one specific hit that I'm talking about that got blocked. So the better your shield, the more block value it has, the more you're going to be mitigating. So redoubt is going to multiply that effect. So the better your shield, the better redoubt is going to multiply. If redoubt multiplies 75% of a really bad shield like this one here that I got while leveling up, it's not going to be that great. If I have a really great shield, if I have mythic level shield here with 6,000 block, 6,100 block, 75% of that is way higher. So my current shield right now with redoubt on is 4,600 additional armor. This shield here is going to be 10,000 additional armor, 10,700. So shield upgrades, if you're a tank and you play Prot Warrior or Prot Paladin, either one of the two, this is independent of both, shield upgrades are going to be amazing to you. So before you jump into a raid, go do a mythic that has a new shield. Atal and I believe Temple of Seth both have shields. Yes, look. Temple of Seth and Atal both have shields for you. Very, very critical that you get that done. Okay, let me hop over to my warrior and show you guys a little bit more of how block works there, and run a dungeon with him as well. It's RNG unless you pop shield block or last stand with bolster. Yes. So it's about value, not chance. Then got it? Yes. So the block value is going to be doing a lot more for you than the block chance. Also, look at the new layout for Dark Iron Dwarfs. This is really cool. I like this background, by the way. Here's my warrior, High Mountain Tarn. What do I think about Prot Warrior Live compared to beta? Prot Warrior in live is weird, because I will admit that a warrior that beats out healers on the healing meters is really weird. So Prot Warriors in live right now are strong, especially after Antaurus. Antaurus was a very good tier for us. So Prot Warriors right now in live are strong in comparison to BfA. But the new BfA warrior is starting to feel more like Legion without legendaries. So in Legion, I love my bracers. I love them. Those, actually, I need to go to a target dummy. Sorry. I love my bracers. Cortez Christmas, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Hope you are enjoying the content. So currently in Legion, I love my legendary bracers. The healing they provide is insane. But without legendaries, we don't have that healing, and that's kind of how things feel now. I wish Ignore Pain scaled higher. That's, you know, Ignore Pain is on the global, and it got nerfed to like 1/5 of the current value. So those two things feel bad, but everything else feels similar-ish now that they added it back. There's a few hopes and a few things that I wish that they would change to Prot Warriors, but you know, can't get everything. Magheart Orcs got a new one too. Ooh, I gotta check that out too. The Ignore Pain Rage Spam Q-More bug. Oh, dude, me too. My Ignore Pain is on pressing in my mouse wheel, and that is my most pressed button. In fact, during TOS, my old mouse broke from pressing that button too much. I got a new mouse halfway through Legion because of the Ignore Pain button spam. So oh, my old mouse is like underneath my monitor. It'd be hard for me to get that. But yeah, my old mouse broke for pressing that button too much. I would check logs, and it was like Ignore Pain times pressed or whatever was in the hundreds per boss fight. So let me go find a dummy. Let me go to Orgrimmar. Show you guys a few things. How do I not have more subs? Cortez, I've only been doing this for about a year, so yeah, it hasn't been like crazy amount of subs or time for me doing this, to be honest. You would say that Ignore Pain is a weird design for a tank, but it made Prot playstyle smooth. Oh, I think WoW crashed. WoW right now, the new version they released, man. Okay, let me just exit it and just restart things. Yeah, I agree. I think the Prot Warrior playstyle of both Ignore Pain and Shield Barrier is weird. It's weird to me. Like, hey guys, I'm a tank and I'm going to create a bubble. Like, I'm going to basically create a priest bubble around myself. I just don't have the fancy animation of the priest bubble around me. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think that's the intention. But that being said, you know, you do what you can to make it work. My mouse failed to ignore the pain. Yes, it did. My mouse felt the pain. My shield slam button on my mouse broke too. But in that 1 year, he's become one of my favorites. Brian, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Let me show you guys this. Okay, so I have a few shields on this guy. So right now my current block chance is 27% block chance, and that's going to increase my armor from 47% to 64. Now if I downgrade my shield, this is the same item level of shield I have on my Paladin. So I'm going to go from 64% mitigation, 47 to 64, all the way down to 54%. So this leveling shield is 10% less mitigation than this heroic level shield. So you have 54% here, you have 64% here. Now, Prot Warriors work a little bit different with how they activate their blocking chance, but that's a 10% mitigation when I block just by upgrading my shield. That's like as good as a talent point. What bolster used to be is like your shield now. Your shield is a passive bolster, you know? This is a medium level shield. This is a heroic level shield. So we have 64%, the other one was 54, this is going to be 62. A 5% drop, it's perfectly in the middle. So yeah, shields are going to be very, very crucial. So the way that warriors work right now, let me actually get a charge going and just do a shield block. You're going to see my block chance be 27%. I'm going to go to 127. So while I have shield block up, I am guaranteeing crits. Now the ability to critical block is dependent on my mastery. So let me build up my rage again. Alright, so my critical block chance, you guys see here, increases your chance to block by 10%. It's part of my mastery. Chance to critical block by 30%. So I have a 27% chance to block. If I block, 30% of those are critical blocks. Regular block is 30% damage. Critical block is 60%. If I pop my shield block, my critical block doesn't go up. It stays at 30%, but I'm blocking 100% of the hits that are coming in. So my critical block goes from 30% of 27 to 30% of 127. You know, so shield block is very powerful, which is why it's very hard for me to argue and tell Blizzard, give us an extra charge of shield block. I think blocking right now is a little too strong and our active mitigation is a little too strong. If they nerfed our active mitigation to give us plus 50% block, and a critical block was 45% damage instead of 60, and we were doing regular block 30%, critical block 45%, active mitigation block 50 plus 50% block chance, then we could get that extra charge of shield block, and we'd have better uptime. We would be smoother. But right now, shield block is way too strong. When I have shield block up, 30% of the attacks coming in are reduced by 60%, and the other 70% of the attacks coming in are reduced by 30%. Like it's a very, very strong active mitigation to have very good uptime on. That being said, bolster, I don't believe is going to change. Actually, I don't know. So I'm running the new bolster, right? So the new bolster is right here. Last stance cooldown is reduced by 60 seconds, by 1 minute. It goes down to a 2-minute cooldown, and it causes you to block all melee attacks. I don't know if it increases my block chance, so here's going to be an interesting one. It does. So it does the same thing that shield block does. So while last stand is up, I'm going to have a 30% chance of crit blocking, 70% chance of regular blocking, and everything is going to be blocked. It does the exact same thing as that. You see the same value from shield block. So bolster is an always on shield block during the duration of last stand, which is pretty damn cool. All of that being said, all of this doesn't increase my armor. It only does it if I block something. So blocking something reduces the actually no, I'm sorry, it doesn't do 30% anymore, right? Because now it just does this 64% block chance. I'm sorry, I'm throwing out the wrong facts because block is getting reworked in BfA. I'm thinking current live and this. Sorry. So block chance is just going to increase that armor value. One thing you notice is how every other class except Prot Warriors have some kind of baseline easy to use healing. We can only slow our death. Yeah, so I can't believe that to this day impending victory is still something we have the talent into. Every other class has a heal that does 15 to 20% of their max HP, depending on which class we're talking about. It's some even more, like Deathstrike can do a lot more. Frenzied Regen scales up to 25% if you talent into it. So, Impending Victory, in my opinion, should not be a talent point and should not cost rage. It can stay on the global. I am okay with it staying on the global. But it should be 0 rage and it should be passive. We currently have, we have Victory Rush baked in, but you need to kill something in order for that to activate. If they bake in Impending Victory at 0 rage and it does 15% of our max HP, 30-second cooldown. I wish it was on a slightly lower cooldown, but even then, 30-second cooldown. The reason I run Impending Victory is because it feels needed. Every now and then, my healer can't keep up. I need to pop a heal that scales with my health. And the cool part about it is it scales with, like, if I pop Rallying Cry or Last Stand, that 15% is a bigger value. How does Ignore Pain work now in BfA? Cortez, Ignore Pain mitigates 50% of damage taken, and it scales with your attack power up to I believe it's 500% of your attack power. So, I don't think there's any real way of looking at my exact attack power, but it used to be strength times 2. I don't think it works that way anymore. Yeah, I don't think there's any value that specifically shows my attack power. But yeah, it takes my attack power and multiplies it by 500%, and it gives me a bubble at that value. So if I throw on this weapon, two-handed weapon, my Ignore Pain value goes up a little bit because two-handed weapons have more strength. It was 14.5. If I remove my weapons, that 14,000 becomes 11,000. So Ignore Pain is scaling off of your attack power by 500%. It only ignores 50% of damage taken, and now it costs 40 rage every time. It's no longer from 20 to 60 rage. It's 40 rage all the time, flat, doesn't matter. And the bad part is, I'm gonna spam Devastator here. You can hear my spam on the keyboard. If you look down at my bars, Ignore Pain is on the global. See that? Every time there's a global, Ignore Pain is part of it. So Ignore Pain is on the global cooldown. That's the one part that feels really bad about it. But it's, you know, still a 12-second bubble. Ignore the weak aura number here. It's the stacks aren't showing direct well. But Ignore Pain is about 1/5 of what you do right now. About 1/5 of the current bubble is the new size of Ignore Pain. And then currently in Legion, you can stack 3 Ignore Pains up, right? So you can Ignore Pain 3 times and those values will stack up. You can do 300% Ignore Pain. Currently, Ignore Pain only stacks up to 30% more, 130% of original value. So if I have 14k, it's going to be doing 18k, around there. So let me see. Let me see if my quick maths is right. That's 2 Ignore Pains, 18k. So, yeah, the weak auras, it's fine. So yeah, right now you can't stack up multiple Ignore Pains. If you have extra rage, you can't just dump it all in an Ignore Pain. You have to dump it in an Ignore Pain, take a little bit of damage. You have to take 60% of that bubble as damage, and then you can cast another one before, if you don't want to waste any rage at all. So that's kind of like another kind of like shitty portion of it. 15-second shield block, it's amazing. Yes, Cortez, I completely agree. Everyone's bullying that dummy, may you rest in peace. No, no, no. Look, there's 2 people here, right? The reason I come to this dummy is because there's not that many people here. Let me show you the dummy that's getting bullied. The dummy that there was only 2 other people there and me, right? So 3 people bullying that dummy. Let me show you these poor dummies over here. Look at these guys. These dummies are in a war front. You see this? Look at all those nameplates. Yeah, these are the dummies I feel bad for. All day. All day it's like this. The reason I go to the other ones is because they have less people and I don't have to hear as many spell effects and you guys don't have to hear as much spam in the background. Let's queue up for a dungeon again and show the power. I can't do Toll de Gore. It's broken. But show the power. Actually, which one did I do that was broken? That was Toll de Gore? No, it was not Toll de Gore. It's called Shrine of the Storm? Yes, Shrine of the Storm is broken too. We just did it. The first boss was broken. Okay, let's queue up. A lot of dungeons are broken right now. Yesterday's patch just broke everything. Victory Rush is super useful on raid bosses. It is, like, just that little bit of healing. It helps. Do I feel like Prot Warrior is heading in the right direction? Yes. Yes, Feld. I do. God bless Orgrimmar. So, the things that I really like is that they took our passive, which is just defensive stance, and they redesigned it with the old bolster. So, a lot of people were like, hey, the new bolster, it's cool. I like its mitigation. I like the fact that it's going to scale with me. But why do I have to invest a talent point into it? Why does it cost rage? Why is it on the global? And Blizzard was like, cool, fair enough. You make a good point. So our old defensive stance is now replaced by Vanguard, which is now going to do stamina by 30% and armor by 40% of our strength. That is the old bolster baked in as a passive. So it's always up. No rage, no global cooldown. It's just baked into our spec. There, you don't need to talent, nothing. So they took our feedback, put it in all the time. The other thing that I still think needs to be changed is ignore pain a little bit. But you know, we were missing a little bit of our kit. They originally nerfed ignore pain and then they took it away. They gave it back to us in a very nerfed capacity. I feel like it needs to scale a little bit better and be off of the global, and then we can be okay. The new demo shout changes, I welcome. The fact that it is now 45 seconds, I love it. It's great. What this means for warriors is that I think, and I honestly feel that anger management is just going to be way better than heavy repercussions in Ravager. If we want to completely fix Prot Warriors and make them feel like every other tank, Ravager either needs to go or be redesigned. Because if Ravager gave us more block chance as well, or more armor, or just overall reduced damage taken from sources, if Ravager decreased damage taken from sources by 35% instead of parry, it could work for magic situations. It could work for, like, not necessarily Crosis because it was very spread out, but I'm trying to think of a place that had high magic damage in a short window. Maybe even like Scythes on Argus or something, even though block works really well. But yeah, I think Ravager needs to be redesigned in today's Prot Warrior world, because we get rage every time we get hit. Also, the new Dragon Roar, I think it'd be cool if they gave us back exactly the old Dragon Roar with the knockback, because the new use for Dragon Roar is going to be to apply a snare, right? Because the Thunderclap snare is only 20% now, so I have no reliable way of snaring things. I only snare things for 20% of their total run damage. So it'd be nice if I had a reliable snare for when Mythic Pluses come in. I'm gonna need that snare for bolstering, for raging, and for necrotic. I need a snare. There's no way around it. And right now I don't really have one. 20% is not a snare. 20% is like asking someone to just walk a little bit slower and they don't want to listen to you. That's all it is. So yeah, I feel like Dragon's Roar is really good at filling that gap. It's like, it's a good snare that we need. The knockback would also be nice, just adding a little bit of that distance to allow us to kite a little bit better. Gerald, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Welcome. You would love to see Heal Bracer Leg as a talent instead of Ravager. Hard choice, but amazing talents. Yes, actually, that would be one of those legendaries that can be applied as a talent. Also, the leg legendaries, adding an extra stack to shield block and an extra stack to spell reflect, those can be, you know, another talent as well. Like that was really strong. And sometimes, like, if you went to go do Maw of Souls on a high Mythic Plus, you would put on your legs because you wanted 2 charges of Spell Reflect. So, you know, things like that, I think would make us have more fun choices. And that's the thing. A lot of the tanking classes out there have different choices that they can pick from, and Prot Warriors just kind of feel like baked into one of them right now. So it kind of feels bad, man. That Ignore Pain being on the global kind of sucks too, honestly. We're really hoping for Neltharion's Fury. I mean, look, they kind of baked in Neltharion's Fury into Last Stand. So while Last Stand is active, you guarantee block. It's not a guaranteed crit block, I know, and I'm sad to see that go as well, but guaranteed block for 15 seconds, that's okay. I feel like that's really powerful. They combine Neltharion's Fury and Last Stand in a way that's not stupid overpowered. Like, there's not going to be anyone completely crying and being like, that is way too powerful, get rid of that. So they kind of brought it back in its own special way, and I'm okay with that. 15 seconds of blocking still feels good. It doesn't do any offensive things like Neltharion's Fury did, but it still feels good. I have learned that we can't get exactly what we want out of Blizzard. It's all about compromise, guys. It's all about, it's like an abusive relationship. Blizzard shows up to my house and takes everything I own away. They're like, Ignore Pain, it's gone, and Neltharion's Fury is gone, your mitigation is gone, everything you do now is going to be slower, it's going to be on the global, and they just take everything away, and then you go, hey, baby, listen, I need that back. And they're like, okay, you can have it back, but only half of it. You can have Ignore Pain back, but now it's only 50%. And you're like, okay, that's fine. I can work with that. I can work with it. It's okay. Hey, it's fine. It's fine. We'll be okay. So at this point, it's all an abusive relationship, and it's all about compromise. All I'm trying to do is just compromise a little bit. I can deal with certain changes. Ignore Pain being on the global hurts, and that's one of those that's like, here's the Last Stand, by the way, just blocking all the things. So I'm not gonna be using my shield block while this is up. That's just a waste of rage. But I can use Ignore Pain and stack that up. But you guys saw my damage taken while that Last Stand was up. None. Non-existent. Block on live at the moment, 965, 967. Prot Warrior is about 40-50%. Baseline block feels stronger. It's almost a critical block. Yeah, it's it feels good. I like this. I like this. Let's not go that way, guys. No, we don't need to go that way. And you can use and move your other spells while it's active. Now, yes, I think one of the biggest things that I wish Neltharion's Fury had was the ability to move while you were casting Neltharion's Fury, but I knew that was too much to ask. Neltharion's Fury was already too strong. Neltharion's Fury made it so like Kill Jade and Spell Claws were like, what is that supposed to be? Agramar's Foe Breaker was like, that's cute, that's cute. I throw up an Ignore Pain and Neltharion's Fury, you can't even break through my Ignore Pain, Agramar. You're supposed to be like the defender of the, you're supposed to be a Titan. I can crit block you. Get out of here. So yeah, Neltharion's Fury was too strong. I honestly think it was way too much. Fell Claws 4 and 5, if you timed it right with the Neltharion's Fury, those Fell Claws 4 and 5 hit you for less damage than the third Fell Claw. It was insane, and it was up every time you had to take Fell Claws. As long as nothing crazy happened and your other tank died, it was like, I'll be fine. Neltharion's Fury, we're good. So if you would have been able to use Neltharion's Fury while moving, I'm pretty sure everybody would have been like, nerf Prot Warriors, way too strong. Let's do this guy. I don't want to pull the middle yet. The middle, they all heal, so the middle is not a good place to be in unless you have good interrupts. Let me pull this guy. No, don't pull the middle. I wish I could queue up for heroics because I feel like I'm over geared for a lot of this content, which I I am, not by a whole lot, by about 15 item levels, but I am overgeared. So the amount of damage taken is also going to be lower because this guy's overgeared. My Prot Paladin's taking more damage because my Prot Paladin isn't even geared for heroics yet. This guy's geared for mythics. But I can't queue up when half of the dungeons are broken. Also, right now, finding a healer is really difficult. Not a lot of healers right now. I think because all of the changes were done to Boomkins and to Prot Paladins and Prot Warriors. They did also change Disc Priest, but I actually have only ran into one since they changed them. Seems like rage generation and usage has smoothed out a little bit. Yes, it has. And that's also because like 2 weeks ago, they made shield block go from 40 rage to 30. Like they smoothed it out. Every time I take an auto attack, I generate 3 rage. So let me see if I can. That's gonna be hard to show, but I'll try. Let's kill one of them for sure. And okay, so every time I get hit by this guy, 3 rage. You guys saw that? It's hard to show, but it did go from 30 to 33 rage. Every time I auto attack, I also generate 2 rage. So the old Devastator doing 5 rage per hit is now kind of split up in a way. 3 of it is you getting hit, 2 of it is you hitting. So kind of interesting. I didn't mean to pop my shield wall, but we did. Hi James, how you doing, man? I mean, hi Aquina. I thought it was James saying hi. Keep reading from the bottom up, man. Hi Aquina, how you doing? Welcome. How is Prot Warriors in beta? They're starting to feel better, man. They're not done yet. I feel like they still need a little bit of love. Not there yet, but things are feeling better, man. Things are on the up and up. We shouldn't have doubted Blizzard. We said some mean things to them. So here's the new bolster talent, right? Look at this. Just blocking. Just blocking things. Yeah, you guys can hit me. That's fine. I'm just blocking things. I wasn't going to be able to show it too much on the boss fight, so might as well show it off on the little bit of trash that there is. Yeah, the new bolster, I like it. I like it a lot. Also, Prot Paladins are very strong now too. So Prot Paladins, good stuff. If you are playing a Prot Paladin, currently your new mastery scales slower than versatility, unfortunately, and that's a bit of an oversight because the new mastery is basically versatility. It's like a little bit like diet versatility, you know. It doesn't do as much as verse, but it has the same effect in terms of what tanks need and require. Damage taken, your damage done, your attack power scales better off of versatility as well. So if you're wondering, like, currently in the current build, what to build your Prot Paladin as, I would say haste verse instead of haste master or anything like that. And then for protection warriors, haste mastery is still going to be the go-to, especially now with the new bolster. Like, anything to do with our block is going to be good, especially since we're going to have more uptime on those blocks because of the new bolster. It's just going to give us an extra cooldown if you run anger management, like every minute you're going to have another 15 seconds of blocking. So, you know, it's going to scale well. Let me pull this Stormcaller and then we can go left. We don't have to pull this right side. By the way, man, do I check my Honor Talent Shield Bash? Do I think the damage is legit or broken? Because it hasn't changed for quite a long time. It's legit. So before all of these changes and before I got sick late last week, I was actually doing a lot of war mode with a Prot Warrior, and that Shield Bash damage, it's bigger than the rest of our kit, but in comparison to other classes, it's not that great. That damage is honestly, it's not that great. Like a Prot Warrior in war mode right now, you're just kind of like slowly surviving while somebody hits you a lot harder. So no self heals, no ability to like recover, and our damage is low if our PvP abilities, like if we don't have Dragon Charge and Shield Bash, you just kind of like slowly die. It sucks. But yeah, I think if they want Prot Warriors to be in PvP, then they're gonna need to do something about the damage. That being said, the large majority of the PvP community says that tanks shouldn't be able to PvP, and it doesn't matter if they can't PvP. So I really doubt that there's gonna be enough feedback of people saying make tanks viable in PvP for them to do something about it. I think most people are just like, yeah, tanks shouldn't be in PvP. It's terrible. Get out of here. Felt so damn crazy in duels. So right now PvP isn't scaling with level. So if you're like 108 and you're dueling a 106, your item level difference is also big. Yeah, it's gonna feel crazy. But out in the open world with everybody else also being as geared as you are, doesn't do as much. Hey, when do I test druids? Jakub, that'll be next week. So I haven't logged into my druid because of the new changes to Prot Paladins. Like, so I had somebody link me the new Prot Paladin changes on Wednesday night, and I didn't think that they were gonna go live this week. I thought they were gonna go live next week. So my thought process was I'm gonna play my druid yesterday and today, but that didn't happen because all of the changes to Prot Paladins and Prot Warriors went up last night. So that's gonna take a little bit more priority than Druid and Boomkins and Guardians. You know, both of them, whichever ones we're considering right now. So next week, Mac. Next week, I'm gonna gear out my Paladin a little bit more. I'm gonna be putting out more videos about like the Prot Paladin and the damage reduction and how it scales. That'll be coming up very soon. Those are the next videos I have. I already have like footage and my quick maths that I showed you guys, my Excel sheets of all of the breakdowns, and yeah, then I'll be doing druids after. Congrats on 7K. Thank you, Demon Hunter. Thank you. I appreciate it. Checked how long cooldown last stand had when you used it last time. It was 1 minute 15 seconds, which is completely insane. Yes, with anger management, it's a very short cooldown. So it goes from 3 minutes to 2 with the talent point, and then anger management is going to reduce that. You know, I was assuming somewhere like 50%, so a little bit less. It's looking like 1 minute 15 is more like 40%, but that's still really good. So anger management bolster does really good. You missed it until you saw Wednesday's VOD. Yeah, it happened sometime during the weekend, and since I wasn't very active last weekend, since I was sick, it kind of just passed by. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. With bolster and anger management, last stand is like your 970. Yes. So with bolster and anger management, it really is like the right now in live, you generate and eat so much rage. I mean, frankly, I love it. I love that playstyle of just generating so much rage. But the new bolster talent point is similar to that. Unfortunately, shield wall is the only victim. Sorry, the garbage truck is outside. So unfortunately, shield wall is the only victim, but I'm okay with that. Shield wall is supposed to be our big cooldown. It's supposed to be the thing we use when we want to mitigate as much. Misho, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. So shield wall should be that, and right now, with the new bolster talent point, it is that. It's still our biggest cooldown. You can't just use it every minute or 2 minutes like you do in live and Legion because of the rage consumption and rage generation. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with shield wall having its place as the big cooldown. I much rather and there it is. It's leaving. Farewell, garbage truck. You won't be missed. We need to put the eyeball on this side. This side of the head is missing the eyeball. Can we not pick it up? We can. Oh, is it glitched? Eyeball. Alright, we gotta go get the other eyeball. Alright. Currently, I would much rather Prot Warriors be designed knowing that shield wall is our big cooldown, rather than encounter designers going, yeah, but Prot Warriors have shield wall up every 2 minutes. So if we have this mechanic happen every 2 minutes, they'll have shield wall for every single one of them. They'll be fine. I would much rather them be like, you know, shield wall is going to be their 5-minute cooldown. They can't reliably use it, so we can't implement that big hit because we can't rely on Prot Warriors having that cooldown up every time that hit goes out. So I'd much rather see a design philosophy where shield wall is our ability to recover. Our ability for us to, with our guild, be like, uh-oh, things went wrong. My other co-tank died. I'm at 5% of the boss fight. In order for me to survive this 5% with these extra stacks, it's gonna be shield wall. You know, I'm okay in that design philosophy rather than the current design philosophy where we have shield wall up every 2 minutes and things can be tuned that way. Finally, somebody said your name right, Misho. How are people saying your name? Are they saying your E's like the SpongeBob meme? They're like, Misho. How would I rate the plate-wearing tanks in terms of fun and utility right now? I think that... wait, is this not working? Put the eyeball in it. Oh, it's broken. They broke this dungeon too? Oh, man. Can I throw the eyeball into the face? Nope. Alright, it's broken. Alright, so we're gonna have to go to another dungeon. Alright, rip this dungeon. I don't know what is in the last boss that I could have used. I don't know, but a lot of things are broken right now. Rating the plate wearing tanks in terms of fun and utility. If we're talking about raid progression utility, I think the Paladins are clear winners. Prot Paladins are going to offer a lot more to a raid because they offer BOP. They can offer Light of the Protector if they spec into it. They offer Blessing of Sacrifice for their co-tanks or somebody else. Like, let's say you're doing Mythic Cooldown and you have your mage tanking. Like, you know, Blessing of Sacrifice can apply to those situations. Anyone else being a tanker or taking high damage from any kind of mechanic. So, yeah, I think in terms of raid utility, Prot Paladins win. In terms of how fun they feel, Prot Warriors just need a little bit more. If Prot Warriors like get Ignore Pain off of the global, we could feel just as fun as Prot Paladins. In this current version right now, which isn't going to be what goes live, in this current version, Prot Paladins feel better than Prot Warriors, but in terms of Plate Warriors overall, you also have Death Knights. And the utility that a DK brings to 5-mans is not going to be touched by anyone. So if you mostly do Mythic Plus and 5-mans, DK as a plate wearer. If you do raids and you want to offer a little bit more to your raids, if you want to offer a little bit of healing, a little bit of utility, being able to remove debuffs, Prot Paladins now also get cleanse baseline. So if there's disease effects and poison effects, they can get rid of those as a prot. So, you know, they can also do a little bit of spot healing with Lay on Hands. So raid utility goes to Prot Paladins, 5-man utility goes to Blood DKs. And in terms of fun, I have always been really partial to charging into battle and hitting things as hard as you can with your shield. Prot Warriors are going to be the kings of physical damage mitigators if they just get a few things changed. There's just a few little tweaks that we need, and we'll be the king of physical damage mitigation because of how blocking is going to work. Blocking is going to be insane. When we talk about magic damage, Prot Paladins can block magic damage, and DKs have AMS. They're going to win with magic. But physical damage, Prot Warriors are so close to being amazing at it. Just need a little more love. So yeah, 5-man, DK, raid utility, Prot Paladin, But in terms of fun for me, Prot Warrior, and in terms of like physical versus magic damage, Prot Warrior in the physical damage camp, magic damage for blood DKs and Prot Paladins. Hey, did they remove the island guy? I was gonna do an island expedition to see if the Azurite power is normalized. Oh, here he is. They moved him 10 feet to the right. Let's do a Mythic island. I don't meet the requirements. Why, Blizzard? I don't know what the item level requirement is. Everyone says Mish. Oh, it's Misho? Got you, man. Misho 7. You read somewhere that they've made changes to Fury Warrior. Have I looked at that? No, I haven't seen. Or I don't know if it's seen or sign. But I haven't looked at that yet because they made a lot of changes to Fury. But immediately after the changes went live, they then put out another statement saying, we already don't like what Fury does, so we're redesigning all over again. So they already like said a bunch of other changes that they're going to have. And all of these changes are completely going to change how Fury plays. So this Fury is very different from the previous Fury, but there's already a new Fury coming that's going to be very different from this one right now. So I don't want to get used to this one because this is not going to happen. Like, this Fury is going to disappear. It's going to go away. This Fury isn't going live. So we just have to wait. There's one PTR build every week. So next week the new Fury will go live. I can take a look at it. So this week, this one is a bit of a dud. I guess it was like something that they were like, let's see what happens. And then as soon as it went live, they were like, you know what, we don't. They probably saw some numbers come back that were very different from what they wanted, and they were like, yeah, no, let's we don't want that. Back from the market. Nice, Chaos. How was it, man? About to begin. Now we have a start timer for islands. I like it. I like it. Hey, this is a brand new island too. They added a lot of new islands, by the way, guys. So a lot of new island designs. So you see this little AoE around me is what I'm going to be able to see. Oh, everybody's here. Let's go. So this guy is an elite, and now he looks like he's more Azurite infused with that blue glow. So I guess they changed that too. That definitely wasn't around before. So we can see that this is like a super strong Azurite infused fighter. That's cool. That's cool. They're definitely changing islands a lot, and I like this scenery. There's it looks like a bit of a forest over here. We have the beach here. We have mountain and ruins, like temple ruins above me. Okay. And then I have a team who's not helping me and just ignoring me. They're just pretending I don't exist, and like I'm not tanking an elite. That's cool. All right, we're just gonna go Avatar. We're gonna beat this guy up. Ignore pain. Let's go. Let's go. All the deeps. How are new Prot Warriors with HP compared to other tanks? I believe we are the lowest HP having tank in current in the beta right now. So yeah, we're the lowest. So it doesn't feel great, but if we're gonna be the kings of physical damage mitigators, that means that I'm okay with having a lower HP pool as long as that physical damage mitigation reflects that. Let me pop this. This Crusher is beating me up a lot, mostly because when he's doing that cast on the ground, you guys see he chases me, which isn't the way it's supposed to break down. He's supposed to like stand still and cast, and I'm supposed to be able to dodge it. Right now I can't dodge a damn thing he's doing. Group is very split up right now too. And then if he picks this up, well, oh, group is not split up. We lost someone. Now there's only 2 people here, and I don't know if there's a way to get somebody else back. It says we're in queue, but there's no way I can queue up for anything. Look at this. Since the person we talked to is a raid table, there's no way I can do anything about it. You're new, dinged your Guardian on beta, haven't done dungeons yet. You're like 274 item level or so. You got 137k HP. Yeah, bears are dumb, man. Bears have a lot of HP. There's no way anyone's gonna compare to bears. The DK left. Yeah, I just saw that. Feels bad, man. We need someone else. If me and the Warlock were together too, we'd be able to do bigger pulls. Will I be paying the 5 mil for the dinosaur? I currently don't have it in live. I want to farm it out, but to be completely honest, probably not. So somebody did the calculations with how much the current WoW token costs. If you were to farm 5 mil, and instead of using it for subscriptions or currency, like WoW token balance, the 5 mil costs like over 300 bucks, over $300 for that mount. Which if you're that big of an auction house goblin and you make that much money, dude, hats off to you. Very, very big achievement. For me personally, I think I'd much rather add that currency to my BNet balance and just play other games, like even, you know, anything that they're adding, or I don't play too much Overwatch, but anything in the shop that they add later, any cool mounts that I want. So I probably will not buy the 5 mil mount, given that it is the equivalent of $300. All right, let's jump over here. Hopefully hopefully we get some help. Nope. The Warlock was standing here the whole time, saw me pull and said, "You can deal with that. I'm leaving." All right. Oh, he just completely left the island. Oh man, it's just me against the Alliance, and I'm getting destroyed. All right. Well, that island didn't go over too well. I'm gonna leave the island and try to queue up again. Azurite detector in 5 minutes. Nice. All right, island. Do I think Fury will see the return of one-handed weapon builds? James, I hope so. I really hope so. I loved single-minded Fury, and if there's one thing that can make me go Fury again, it's that. It's single-minded Fury. But I understand that it's very difficult to balance single-minded Fury when Titan's Grip also exists. It's two completely different worlds. It's going to be very difficult to balance them under the same talent tree. If there was two different talent trees, different abilities, different things like that, you can overall make them perform the same in terms of DPS done. But when they have shared abilities and shared talents, it's very difficult to balance one person wielding 2 one-handers and one person wielding 2 two-handers. So I really doubt the single-minded Fury's coming back. That being said, if it does, that'd be amazing. I'm all for that. 3v2, no problem. The Warlock was working as a team. Yeah, Warlock is done. Demon Hunter, are you falling asleep at work, man? Hey, do you log again on your prop palette tonight? Tonight, like after the stream? Not tonight. Probably tomorrow to start gearing up, but not tonight. Rip Island, yeah, that was bad, man. You need to find an in-game rich gaming girl and seduce her to buy the mount. Demon Hunter, did you ever play RuneScape? Are you just gonna go to the main hub and say that you're like looking for a girlfriend, looking to buy a girlfriend or something? Even though you have lots of money, it's a lot for a mount. It is a lot for a mount. Too much, dude. You need some coffee. I've had my coffee here. It's cold because I've been talking too much. I didn't get to drink it all. Speaking of that, guys, I do need a quick little bio break, so give me like a minute or two. I will be right back. Give me like a minute. Alright. Oh, I missed the Q. Cue it up, cue it up. Heroic. At least we're most likely gonna get a dino, but without an auctioneer. Yeah, there's other dinos. Let me show you guys something here. Rip Q, I'm sorry. Why? Why? Let me show you guys. I wonder if this guy is still here actually. So these things are the travel beast. These things are gonna be mounts. There used to be someone around here called like a mount vendor, Zandalari mount vendor or something. I think they might have removed it because they redesigned this whole area, right? So there it is, mount vendor. Oh, here it is. Here you go. 400k for one of these guys, a pale hide direhorn. So one of these guys, although these direhorns already exist in terms of they exist in Pandaria. They're from a rare mob. There's a rare mob that has a chance of spawning like once every 16 hours or something, I forget. There's 3 different recolors of them, and they already exist. This is a different way of getting them, a guaranteed way via money. Gotta charge my phone, it's dying. Alright, jumping into this island. I don't have a healer, right? That's not... No. Okay, let's pull this this guy. He's going to be an elite, so I'm gonna pull only this guy. You only use auction house once, sometimes twice per day, so buying an auction house is not gonna happen if you got the money. Get tier 3 rogue from Black Money Auction House. Yeah, that kind of money can definitely go to buying you full tier 3, to be completely honest. It's not even like buying you 1 or 2 pieces. 5 mil, if you were really good at getting those black market auction house boxes, you can do it with 5 mil. I wasn't looking. I think I got hit by that poison bomb while I was reading comment. Alright, let's also pull this guy. We got a full buff going. Laser beams. Laser beams. Laser beams. Alright. Oof. Hey, that lake is... Guys, sometimes I just appreciate the little things in life, or in WoW. That lake, that little lake looks really cool. I like the way that looks. I remember the first time I ever created a torrent. I'm running around Mulgore, and there's a lot of little streams in Mulgore, and I had leveled up originally a human and then a night elf. So there wasn't too many. There was like a few lakes in human territory, but in Mulgore, if you go underwater, those little rivers look like they're alive. Like they just have a ton of wildlife and little 2-bit fish swimming around them. Just like the little things. They looked amazing. This looks really cool. I like the way this looks. Like just overall, this whole area, this whole island is looking really good. There's also a shovel behind me that I gotta pick up so that we can dig out someone and get more Azurite. Let me pick that up. Give me the shovel. There it is. That's an elite. I gotta tank him. The elites seem like they're a little bit bugged right now because they don't give you the opportunity to dodge some of their abilities. You're only buying pieces, not risking money for a box. True, true. We have to go hardcore mode to pick herbs and make millions. Yeah, you really have to. Like at this point, what I've done so far in live is convert all of my Bloods of Sargeras into profit, whether that's into blacksmithing mounts or potions of prolonged power or something like that. Like that's all I've done. It's not the best gold, but it was converting gold that was gonna die when BfA goes live. When Tomb of Sargeras first came out and the new mount from blacksmiths was out, I made a pretty penny, but it's all gone now. It's all gone. All right, I think I can handle 2 of these guys. Let's go. Demo shout. Let's do this. So I was thinking about something. The new bolster ability makes Last Stand better than Shield Wall for physical damage. So Shield Wall is 50% of all damage. Shield Wall is going to be amazing for magic damage. There's no question about it. But in terms of physical damage, Last Stand mitigates more because of the guaranteed crits. Let's do that. So a guaranteed crit right now does 64% damage mitigation. And that's not even a crit block. That's just a regular block. So a critical block is going to be doing a lot more, but Last Stand mitigates 64% of incoming physical damage, as long as it's not like a bleed that does physical. As long as it's a blockable physical source, Last Stand is better than Shield Wall. Oh, Shield Wall is 40%, not 50. They did nerf it a little bit, but Last Stand is better than Shield Wall if you pick a bolster. Think about that for a little bit. It's crazy. Having Irving on an alt when BfA comes out in the first week or 2 and Alchemy on main makes all pots you do 100% profit. Yeah, I have a little bit of that in terms of different tunes. My Boomkin is an Alchemist, and I think also Herbalist. So once I start leveling up my Druid, I'll be able to make some of those profits. But for the time being, I'm gonna miss out on them. On my Warrior at least. My Warrior is all production, no farming. You only make gold for your subscription via plus 15 carries and you're done for the month. Yeah, I think a lot of people just kind of do. Oh, hey, there's money here. Seafarer's Doubloon. We're playing Sea of Thieves, guys. What? What? Binds to my Blizzard account. Currency of the traders of the Great Sea. Hey, guys, there's money on the floor in Islands. Guys, you guys need to keep your eyes open. You guys tell me if you see a lucky penny on the floor. I'm going to be able to buy a new dinosaur with this money. Why is there a quest here, too? Oh, it's an Azurite source shows up with a quest for some reason. Okay. Guys, if you see any money on the ground, let me know. Pick up a lucky penny today. Buy a giant dinosaur tomorrow. Like, that's the way that this world works. I think that's the plot of the new Jurassic World leaked. By the way, guys, I was a little busy before today's live stream doing a lot of the calculations for the new Paladins. So I didn't get to set up like the Gleam link for the WoW token giveaway, but the WoW token giveaway is happening next week. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'll tweet it out. If not, check the VOD of this when it goes up, maybe like an hour after. Check the VOD and I'll put the Gleam link. Let me actually load up Gleam right after this poll so I can get on it and do the giveaway, so you guys can sign up from starting now to next week. So check that if you guys want to enter to win the WoW token giveaway. And of course, this month, like the past few months, is sponsored by Christian still. I don't think Christian is in here today. He was going to have some IRL things that were going to get in the way of being able to join us in the streams, but shout out to him. He's been helping out a lot, doing sponsoring a lot of those giveaways. Let's see. Oh, roots the target, increases damage taken by 10%. Nice. Was this guy the one with the quest? Oh no, that guy just gave us a treasure chest inside of that clam. Time to pickpocket humanoids in BfA. Yeah, I think that might be, there might be something hidden there. Definitely worth your time. That's the Alliance boat. Yeah, it is. If you get too close. Uh-oh. We're going that way? Okay, let's go that way, guys. Maybe the Alliance is over there. What is this? Scouted Azurite. What? Is Alliance here? No. Giant clam locked. Okay. Let me root, increase damage taken. Let's go. Let's go, guys. You're gonna go down so quickly. Amazing that you can tame unicorns. Oof, I did. I was reading chat. I got hit by that. That hurt. You're supposed to die already. I used the snare, increased damage taken on you. Alright, can we unlock this? How do you unlock that? You need... Oh, this guy can unlock him. How? He has a shovel buff. You just get your shovel and that's how you shuck the clams open. It's interesting. We haven't seen Alliance yet. Uh-oh. Oh no! How did I get hit by that? I was off of that. Come on. World tournament in Island that'd be kind of weird. It's gonna be so arena tournament viewership has gone down. The way they're gonna bring arena tournament viewership back up to do threes in island expeditions. So it's a little bit of PvE, a little bit of PvP. You can run like triple rogue and just try to gank them and gank them. Oh, he marked all the Azurite nodes. Okay. Uh-oh. Seems like somebody pulled behind me. So yeah, they're gonna increase arena viewership by bringing 3v3 islands into arena tournaments. There would be such a big outcry for that. It's like not even PvP. Nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing. Everything has to have PvE now. What are the new changes for Prot Warrior, please? T-Waz, the new changes to Prot Warriors are that the old bolster that you know that increases armor based on your strength, that is now baked in. So before we used to have this passive. Let me show you. Passive used to be called defensive stance, right? Defensive stance increased our stamina, threat generation, things like that. Now, if you look at the second part of that, increases armor by 40% of your strength. That's the old bolster ability. So bolster is now baked in. It's passive. It's always on. Doesn't require global. Doesn't require rage. It's just bolster is there. The new bolster talent point is here. While you have last stand up, you also block every melee. So for 15 seconds while last stand is up, you also have shield block up 100%. 100%. So it's a very good cooldown. It actually mitigates more damage than shield wall. So physical damage, that is. Shield wall is still better for magic damage. Alright, we're gonna beat these guys up. Let's go. They do have a healer. They have two healers actually, so no, it's a mage over there. Okay. I'm gonna stay on the healer. Make sure the healer is interrupted. Uh-oh, disoriented. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. And then the other Prot Warrior change is the other talent point that was left blank is now Dragon Roar. So you know Dragon Roar, it's been around for a while. Dragon Roar does an AoE around you. It does heavy damage. It does more damage than Shield Slime, even though it says it does less. But it does more damage than a Shield Slime. And the other thing that it does really well is it applies a snare. So it applies 50% snare on all of the mobs around you. So Thunderclap got nerfed. The Thunderclap snare is only 20% now. So in order for you to snare things for like necrotic, bolstering, raging, things like that where you need to snare and run away and kite, now you are going to rely on Dragon Charge, or Dragon Roar, sorry, Dragon Roar. Dragon Charge is PvP. So yeah, that's basically all the changes for Prot Warriors. Prot Paladins got a lot of new changes, but Prot Warriors, new talent points, 2 of them, and bolster is now baked in. It's always on. You're always bolstered up. This is big, thanks. Yeah, I think the last few things that they need to do, T-Waz, is make Ignore Pain more strong. make it like scale up more, and take it off the global, and then we'll be okay. We won't be amazing, we won't be great, we'll be okay. All right, let's go. Let's open this guy up. Alliance is beating us, man. They're doing things better than us. Refreshing drink. I could use that. I don't even know what it does. So you were thinking the block from the last stand has a chance to critically block? Yeah, because critical block is based on your mastery, not based on anything else. So if you are blocking more things, a percentage of those things are going to be crit block based on your mastery. So the new bolster, while last stand is up, like right now my current mastery, I crit block 30% of the chance, 30% of the time. So since the last stand makes me block everything, 30% of the hits I'm taking are critically blocked. Blocking no longer does 30% and 60% mitigation. It's now based on the block value of your shield. So critical block is just going to make my shield work twice as much. So I would need to calculate it, and since armor isn't linear, it wouldn't be exact, but I can try to like guesstimate for you how much that crit block is. Cool changes. Those tweets to Ian are paying off. I know, man. I know. I'm sure Ian is tired of me, and he's like, this guy's annoying, and he needs to stop crying about Prot Warriors. Be right back. Let me log back onto my resto shaman. But I need to do it. I need to do it. Everybody else who mained a Prot Warrior in Legion, quit Prot Warriors. In terms of like content creators, you had Preach, you had Sko, like all of these people who used to play Prot Warriors. Prot Warriors became below average, and then they were all like, yeah, we're done. Those Prot Warriors are gone. And right now we are very far below average. We're getting better. It's not as terrible as it once was, but we were very far below average. Now we're I'd say we're just slightly below average at this moment. Things still feel a little bit clunky, still feeling better, but Ignore Pain being on the global is just kind of like one of those things that adds to that clunkiness. And it's not only the tweets to Ian, it's also the video I made about Ian treating us like the Black Knight and completely cutting off all of our limbs. I think it's all of it added up. Just me being a complete terrible human being to Ian, and making fun of the way he's nerfing our class. You do it the only way you get through to them? Yeah, you have to. You know, I don't want to be toxic and just be like, Ian, you're terrible. But try to offer actual feedback with actual suggestions of things that have been implemented in the game before, things they can improve on, things that I know are already balanced. So as much as, like, you know, we can all sit here and come up with brand new ideas for every class, new spells that we've never seen before that sound super amazing, but the truth is they're probably not balanced, they're not tested, they haven't gone through like development cycles. So it's easier for suggestions to be, hey, you guys already developed this once, it was balanced, it went through like 3 or 4 iterations, it came from you guys. So, you know, some of these things that you've already done and have worked in the past can work again. Just bring them back. But yeah, someone I think last live stream or 2 live streams ago asked me if I could design a brand new ability for Prot Warriors, what would it be? And I said that instead of Ignore Pain, instead of my rage going to a bubble, I would like it if we had either like a frenzied regen, like all of the rage we generate, we can slowly eat it and heal over time. We used to have enraged regen actually, and it got changed a few times. It had a lot of iterations, but something like that, or something where our rage kind of is kind of like Avatar. So the new Avatar could kind of be nice. Hey, there's a new screen. That's cool. I like that new screen. Shows everybody off on your team. That's really cool. What does clunky mean? Clunky means it doesn't feel right. It just, things feel off. Let me go see where I can spend that doubloon, because I think those doubloons are for the items. So yeah, I think like if I had to design a new ability, I would get rid of Avatar and make it so that Avatar is kind of like like the old Frenzied Regen. It slowly eats your rage and it maintains a buff on you. So the new thing would be like Avatar slowly consumes your rage. Every second it consumes like 20 rage, or every 5 seconds or something. I don't know. It would have to go through all of that balancing. But yeah, look guys, I got money. I got the doubloon to be able to buy stuff for islands. Nice. The new Avatar would increase your haste, your mastery, increase your armor, and even like your HP for a little bit. It'd be like a super massive cooldown. Everything would increase by a little bit, right? You'd get like 200 points of haste. It would kind of be like the Dark Iron Dwarf racial that increases your primary stat. This could kind of increase a few things. You would eat all that rage, and as long as you were still generating rage, if you had really good rage generation, that uptime on the Avatar would be really good. So in boss fights, you don't have crazy rage generation because there's not a million things hitting you. So yeah, it would kind of go based off of that, and you could just you could become like you would basically Hulk out. You would Hulk out as long as you had rage to feed it. But yeah. You are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel? Yes. Yes, I am. I wasn't toxic. I did well. Feedback was great. Puts the parody of our situation. Put the Thank you, James. Thank you. ROTS, but for warriors? ROTS? I don't know what's ROTS. I'm trying to think of what ROTS is. And JP, why are there 2 garbage trucks in one day? They're just... Quit getting rid of the trash and making the place look nice. I'm just fine. Clunky just means that it doesn't feel fluid. So what I mean for clunky specifically for Prot Warriors is the fact that every single move I do only serves one purpose, right? My shield slam does damage, and if it's offensive, right? Does damage, generates rage. My ignore pain ignores damage and eats rage. So my offensive abilities only do damage and generate rage. They offer nothing to me in forms of mitigation, and my defensives only offer defensive and no additional benefit. Like my ignore pain doesn't make me swing my arms for a second as well. Like it doesn't make me swing my arms and hit everything as much as Thunderclap does. It does no damage. It's only mitigation. So every single one of my choices is either do I want to generate aggro, single target, or AoE and generate rage, or do I want to eat rage and be defensive? And there's no overlap at all. Every other tank has overlap. You have DKs with Death and Decay being an AoE. If they stand in it, they get more survivability. It's also a snare. It does damage. It's a really good AoE pickup. Marrow Strike does damage, and it also gives them Bone Shield. Death Strike does damage. It makes them heal, and it gives them active mitigation all in once. Demon Hunters have Spirit Bomb and Soul Cleave, which does damage and heals them, applies a debuff, gives them Leech. Prot Paladins have Consecrate. When they stand in it, they take less damage. Avenger Shield works with giving them a bubble. Every time they cast Judgment, their active mitigation cooldown goes down. So, you know, for most tanks, there's things that overlap. There's things that have really nice they have more utility, right? It's like, hey, if I do this, it also is going to help me be a little bit more defensive. And Prot Warriors don't have that, except for the fact that like things generate rage and you eat them. But we're not the only, I'm sorry. We're one of the few tanking classes that need resources to be tanky. The only other one I can think of is Demon Hunters also need to generate pain in order to have active mitigation up. Arguably Guardian Druids also need rage for Iron Fur, but I feel like Guardian Druids are really good tanky regardless. Like you just go bear form, you're already doing pretty good on mitigation. Rage of the Sleeper, Guardian Artifact cooldown. Oh, okay. I didn't do Guardian Druids for Legion, sorry. That's why I don't know what that is. I feel like there was more than enough Guardian Druids out there creating content saying this is how to do Guardian Druids right, to where it was like, you know, I don't need to play a Guardian Druid. So yeah, that's what I mean by clunky. Our global cooldown choices feel limited. You're either offensive or defensive. There is no overlap. You know, you don't get both. Oh, I didn't even check how much Azurite I gained from the last island. Whoops. While every other class has things that work in sync, right? You know, you do this, you reduce that. There's also talent points that make them a little bit fun and different to play. Even with just the Prot Paladin, you can become a magic mitigation tank by picking up Holy Shield. You can provide heals for your group if you pick up that Light of the Defender. There's a few things that you can do to make you change up the way you play in a raid and a 5-man. And right now, Prot Warriors just feel like there's one way of playing them, and it's very linear. It's like you're either there's like right now, I picked up a big AoE pack. There's no way for me to maintain AoE aggro and be tanky at the same time. It's either I pick up AoE aggro and then my next global is spent on being tanky, or I'm tanky first and then I do AoE. So that's what I mean by clunky. It just feels like our ability to be tanky is being punished by design oversight. The designers are the only thing that's stopping us from being tanky while we are offensive. And as a tank, you need to do both. As a tank, if you can't generate AoE threat and be tanky at the same time, you fail. You can't lose threat. And then when Skittish comes out, when Mythic Plus comes out, it's going to be a huge issue. Huge issue. It reduced damage by 25%. Also increased damage by 25%. Leech by 25%. Reflecting damage back to the attacker and makes you immune to all loss of control effect. That's a little insane how much it does. But yes, something to that effect where it would be cool. Like, and it eats a good amount of rage. If you use it when you have low rage, you basically waste a big cooldown by just having it be up by like 2 or 3 seconds. Or if you time it perfectly with a full rage bar with demoralizing shout, you know, you could have it up for like 10 seconds or something like that. So Horde is here. This is really aggressive Horde. Alright, so Raul the Tenacious is going to be their healer. Let me just hug this healer. Pop Avatar. Let's get it. Hex, not today, my friend. You can't CC, my friends. Stun. That's okay. And that guy's going to hit him with the... Yes, perfect! I want that Vicious Sawtooth to be hitting them. We tagged him, so he's already part of our kill if he goes down. But he's hitting them. No. I don't think they have a healer. This guy... Oh, there it is. There's the heals. So this is a druid. He's got rejuve, but casts hex at the same time. So he's also got... I've got a pet on me, but that's from the hunter who's back there. But yeah, what's interesting about these teams that you fight is that a lot of their classes are hybrids. There's mecha gnomes. Oh, so that guy jumps up by himself. It's not... I thought he got knocked up by like one of my teammates. No, that's his move. But yeah, a lot of these guys are like hybrids. There's mecha gnomes in these things that you fight. There's a gnome in a mech suit, and then once you defeat the mech, he just becomes a normal gnome running around. Like it's interesting. They're combining classes for NPCs. It's kind of cool. Imagine 3 trash relics for that with damage. It's dumb. It's so dumb. Having a tough time deciding on Warrior or DK. Blood feels better overall than Prot. New Fury changes are fun. Arms is good. Unholy and Frost are also good. If you plan on like being competitive, if you want to compete for Mythic Plus score, if you want to compete... Oh, why are they back already? Is their boat right next... Oh, their boat is right next to us. It's right here. I was like, wait, how are they back already? If you plan on being competitive, pushing Mythic Plus keys as high as you can, and you want to utilize as much of an advantage as you can, Blood DKs. There's no question about it. Blood DKs are going to be better than Prot Warriors for Mythic Plus. If you prefer the playstyle of Prot Warriors, then that's the only reason why you would select Prot Warriors. But the amount of utility that a Blood DK offers in a Mythic Plus is going to be impossible for a Prot Warrior to rival unless we get a really big redesign. So I just don't see that happening. If you are just going to be doing your Mythic Plus 15 for the week, let's say you only raid at a Heroic and partial Mythic raid difficulty, or even just normal, then the choice is a lot more gray. Like, you can go with either one. They're both going to be good for normal and Heroic. I don't doubt that the tuning for them is going to be done that way. It still needs to be changed a little bit more, but you know, I have full faith that we'll be competitive in Heroic and Mythic. If you're pushing Realm first, you probably want to go Blood DK or Guardian Druid, just because they are going to have a few more percentage points of advantage here and there, and it's going to add up. But if you play like the large majority of people, you do LFR normal, Heroic, and Mythic Plus by just doing your plus 15 for the week. Maybe you only push as high as like plus 17s, 18s. You stay well below plus 30s. You'll be fine with whatever choice you decide to make. That alliance kept running into us while one of our guys split up and just went to go collect a bunch of Azurite, and we are killing it this island. So okay, how much Azurite do I have right now? I have 14% Azurite power. Let me write that down. 14%. Hey, Woof. I'm gonna main tank your guild progression, but DPS is important for after that because the progression tanking is a snooze fest. Progression tanking, I think, is the first thing you need to get right. If you are progression tanking with your guild, your tanks need to get it right before the rest of your guild does. If your tanks are messing up, that means one of your tanks is dying early, which means that that you can't even progress to phase 2, phase 3. So progression tanking is the first thing that happens in progression raiding. Like, your tanks need to know what they're doing, or else you're wiping. If your tanks don't know what you're doing, you're probably not seeing phase 3 right. Maybe your tank died, you waste a B-res early. Like, yeah. The only reason why progression tanking feels like a snooze fest is because the tanks are forced to get it right before everybody else does. So the tanks need to get their shit together first, and then the rest of the group can catch up and just be like, hey, you know, we need to drop our puddles better, we need to run over here better, our movement needs to get better, you know, positioning. So yeah, that's I agree with you that progression tanking feels like a snooze fest, but that's because you got to get it right as a tank within the first few pulls. Not the first few pulls, but you need to get it right first before you even start progressing. I'm on Twitch too. Yeah, what's up, Cortez? I'm on both, man. I stream on both now. I'm not an affiliate on Twitch because becoming an affiliate on Twitch means that I can't stream to any other platform, so I wouldn't be able to stream to YouTube. And the large majority of my audience is on YouTube, so I wouldn't want to like cut my own foot off and become an affiliate on Twitch. But yeah, streaming to both platforms, and I can check on chat for both. Unfortunately, like my YouTube custom emojis don't show up if I try to show Twitch chat, so only I can see Twitch chat. So that's the only drawback right now of having both of them up. But you can watch me on whatever platform you want, man. It's just a game anyways. You play what you enjoy, make the best out of it. Hopify, I agree. Currently, right now, I only raid at a heroic level raiding experience. I've walked into Mythic and I've done a few boss pulls and a few bosses on Mythic in Nighthold and in Antorus. So nothing crazy. If I was pushing world first, like let's take Sko as an example. If I was pushing world first, I would definitely be playing Guardian Druid. There's no reason to say anything about that, because Guardian Druids were crazy. The ability for a Guardian Druid to solo tank Mythic Gul'dan on progression, it's insane how crazy that is. Also, guys, this is the new last stand right here. While this blue bar is up, I am blocking everything. Look at the damage taken. That's better than a shield wall. See that? I'm not doing anything. So that new bolster, crazy. I love it. I love it. So yeah, like if I was pushing world first, I would be going for every single percent advantage that I could. Every single one of them. I wouldn't have been playing a Prot Warrior the whole time, but being someone who just does heroic raid level content, the highest Mythic Plus I've done is a 20, so I'm not going into the MDI playing a Prot Warrior. I'm not doing like 24s, 25s. I'm not doing world first 27s like Shakib, you know. It's Prot Warriors are going to be fine, and most tanking classes are going to be fine if you play like 80% of the game. There's only that like last 5% that you can push, that's when you start splitting hairs, and certain classes are going to edge out other classes. It's weird though, you love shield tanking but you love stamina tanks. That's what Warriors used to be for Rip, not anymore. Yeah, right now we currently have the lowest HP pool of all of them, which, you know, there always has to be a bottom and a top of every list. It's just the nature of every list, right? Every list has a top, every list has a bottom. The only way you can avoid it is if your list only has one item. So if every list had the exact same toolkit, mastery, everything, then you wouldn't have a top and a bottom. But, you know, there's a top and a bottom to every list. As long as the difference between the top and the bottom is like less than 10% and it's balanced in that way, I'm okay with it. You see that, Kappa? Yeah, I see the Kappa. I can see all of the emojis, but on the screen, in order to display the sponsored emojis on Twitch, oh, these guys again, they didn't get enough last time. Alright, where's your healer? Raul, it's time. What? You can cast Hex while you're flying in the air? Alright, this guy Raul is intense. He's not even a dedicated healer, he just has rejuve. So I'm just gonna ground pound. The guy is yelling at our other teammate who keeps running away. Every time we do this PvP, the other guy just runs away and splits up, and the guy started yelling at him. He's like, "Come back! Why are you splitting?" I should work at a radio station. You really know how to make yourself. You really know how to make yourself to listen for a long time. Really calm and professional voice. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Does working at a radio station also mean that I could do like voices, that I could do mockings of different things? Because that would be cool. Part of me was always like, it'd be so amazing to do. Oh no, I didn't want to pull that guy yet. He tagged him. Man, okay, we gotta kill this guy, and then this guy will be tagged for us. Gotta kill the alliance before this tag goes to us. Part of me always thought it'd be cool to be a voice actor. I thought that would always be amazing. But I know the field is really small and there's not too many people in it, but voice acting sounds amazing. To Hopify, did you ever play Warcraft 3? Old school Warcraft, RTS Warcraft? Alright, we're going this way. That's fine. Oh! A bunch of invisible spiders got me. No, only WoW. So, in old school Warcraft, as an orc, there was workers you had. They were called peons, and they used the same. If you've ever an orc in Durotar, there's a quest you do where there's these peons that are asleep, and you have to go whip them awake so that they work again, and they use the same voice. But the peons sounded a little something like this. Work, work. Ah, what? Ooh, me not that kind of orc. That's how they sounded. So voice acting always sounded like something really cool for me to do. Unfortunately, it's not something that you can pick on a list of careers when you're like, let's go to college. I'm going to do voice acting. I'll take voice acting for 500, please. Thanks. These pumpkins are going to be full heals. I want that. Done that quest like thousands of times. Yeah, that's how they sound, man. That was awesome. Holy explosive. Yeah, man, voices are fun to do. Alright, we gotta stun this guy. Let's pop Avatar. Let's start interrupting him. Oh no. How is the Hex gonna be cast immediately after? I can also do something else, but I don't know if I make like funny faces while I'm doing weird voices. So hold on guys. Let's do this. All right, you guys ready? In a world where warriors have been nerfed to the ground, befuddled becomes a nerfed warrior. Get down! You have to get to the warrior chopper. It's not that great, guys, but I can do the movie guy voice. In a world this summer coming to battle for Azeroth, a nerfed ignore pain. Should I do a trailer like that, guys? Should I do a trailer on my channel where I talk about things like that? I was considering it at one point, making a trailer to recap every single X pack with just my own movie guy voice. Alright, this alliance didn't know what hit him, guys. We are up by over 1,000 Azurite. Those guys need a dedicated healer. Their Hexer is not cutting it for them. Hey, there's like not Sylphids, the Mott version of Sylphids. All right, so I have shield block up right now, but as soon as that shield block, there it is, last stand. Hit me. Look at this. I'm not touching my keyboard. I'm not taking damage. New bolster. Look at this. Can't do damage to me. All right. Learn Peter Griffin. Oh, I can't do Peter Griffin. I've tried. I can't do Peter Griffin. I can do Cleveland. That's the only Family Guy character that I can do. Cleveland. Oh, he's like, oh, Coretta, you nasty. Peter, you so nasty. That's it. Just Cleveland. That's the one. I can't do Peter. I can't do Quag. I can't. Yeah, none of those. Stewie. Nothing, man. Do I know about Nixium? Yeah, man, he makes machinima. He does a lot of the voices too. He does a lot of his own voices. But yeah, I know about Nixium. He actually, in Legion, he stopped doing as much machinima and he started doing more commentary videos. But yeah, I know him for his machinima, but he does do a lot of commentary now. Thanks, man. Thanks. Oh man. Yeah, okay, so this is off of cooldown now, the last stand. So let me go BOP over here. Alright, come on, let's get this all together. I'm not gonna take any damage. Ready? Last stand. Alright. Not touching the keyboard. Look at my HP. New bolster. Can't hit me. Can't touch this. That's a lot of mitigation. Alright. It's about to fall off, so let me just start generating rage again. Pop ignore pain, get things going again. But yeah, that new bolster is gonna be your best cooldown for mitigating damage, as long as that damage is physical. If it's not physical, then you know, shield wall is still gonna be your best one. But the new bolster last stand is better than shield wall for physical damage. I'm kind of like him, kind of like Nixium. I can do machinima about the Prot Warriors and make a meme about us, Kappa. Making machinima is no joke. There was before I did the video about like Ian hacking us, like the Black Knight in Monty Python, I have the WoW model viewer, and I was considering doing something like that, something machinima-ish, but a lot of things have been changed in the way that you do machinima, and like there was this add-on you used to be able to use before that you could change the camera angle however you wanted in live and record scenes that way. It doesn't exist anymore. So doing current machinima is very difficult. Nice. Hey, you do earn more Azurite now than before. So I gained 300 Azurite as opposed to 100 before. It's still not going to be better than a random dungeon. I think random dungeons give you like 100 per boss. So I received, that was it. I only gained 300 Azurite power. 2%. They still need to make islands better. Okay, so islands still not going to be the main source of Azurite gear that they want us to have, but they did increase it. But yeah, it's not by much. They need to make it better, because then they gave us a blue Azurite shard, right? They gave us this one. It's a blue item basically that automatically gets applied, but there's stuff like this one, a purple one, which is twice as much. If they want islands to be the go-to way for us to level up our Heart of Azeroth, they need to make it drop at least purple, but even then, probably more than just this. Maybe this could be the loser constellation. Like, you lost, here's a purple, maybe 2. If you win, you get something else. Not necessarily gear. I know they wanted to stay away from gear from islands and it just be the way to level up your heart, but doesn't look like it'll be that great right now. I don't think there's any like world quests that are gonna have items for me, but they started adding, if you guys are in the beta, they started adding the dungeon world quests that work for heroics. So if you guys are in the beta and you guys want to start getting geared up and seeing how your class performs endgame, because it's very different, now's the time. They started implementing all sorts of things. Although random Q heroics are broken, so maybe not now, maybe next week. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today, guys. We looked at everything Prot Warrior, Prot Paladin. We looked at the way the new block value works and how amazing shields are gonna be. Let me just put this up in the screen one more time for those of you guys who are number freaks like me, with me creating my own Excel documents. This is what I do for fun. Like, honestly, when something new gets implemented, I want to know how good it is. I always calculate it. I don't like feely crafting. I like actual theory crafting. So the new Prot Warrior, Prot Paladin Mastery is 50% worse than versatility point for point, and that's only talking about damage reduction. Versatility also offers healing done, which is going to affect your Light of the Protector, and it also offers increased damage instead of attack power. So point for point, if we're talking about Prot Paladins right now, versatility way better than mastery. The new Prot Warrior changes a very, very good step in the right direction. The Last Stand is now the go-to mitigator talent. You guys saw how powerful it was. I pulled a bunch of elites in that island. That was a heroic island too. It wasn't just a normal island. That was a heroic island. I pulled 2 packs and popped that cooldown, and I wasn't taking damage, man. I used nothing else. I wasn't stacking Ignore Pain on top of that. Let go of my keyboard. It's amazing. So step in the right direction. I think our global cooldowns need to be freed up a little bit more. So getting Ignore Pain off of that global cooldown would be a step in the right direction. So with that, and if they scale up Ignore Pain a little bit more too, those 2 things would finalize Prot Warriors to me. There's other things that they can do. Increasing our rage generation would be nice. Passive rage generation, Devastator rage generation. Those things would be really nice. Bolster is now baked into our talent point, so I mean, things are getting better. I honestly had my doubts because there was a developer that tweeted last week that the last version of BfA was going up, and I was like, that's it, there's no more tuning changes. But I think he meant only for PvE content, only like boss encounters that we raid tested, world quests, like the heroic world quest. So I think that developer was only talking about the actual environment of BfA. Like, it's done. You guys can see all of these new textures are applied. Like, the ground looks a lot better. The pyramid that we were on looks a lot better. So all of those final textures and stuff look like they've been applied. So I was very worried that that meant that the balancing was done, but it doesn't look like it. So steps in the right direction. We need a few more steps. Even if they're baby steps, we'll take anything. You hope they make the neck traits better. They still feel the same as a beta template, so you're excited to see these traits. You mean like the Azurite traits? The Azurite traits are good, man. I like them. I like them. At first, they were really bad. So this is... can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. Okay, so this used to be a really bad one. It gave us the smallest bubble ever. Now, the main version of the Azurite neck gives us really nice cooldown, like increasing your demo shot by 1 second every time you thunderclap. That's really, really good. Now, stuff like this, like, look at this. Haste 95 passive, it's a little bit boring to me. This isn't that bad, 95 haste, because that's almost like a piece of gear. But stuff like these, actually, the bubbles are way bigger now, 3,800. The bubbles used to be like 400 and 500. So while this is only, if I have 150,000, no, how much HP do I have? 124? Nope, that's not the right number. It's about 30%? What? Did I do that wrong? Oh, yes, I did. It's about 3%. So a 3% bubble. Not bad. Not great, but not bad for something that happens once every 15 seconds. You know, not too bad. I think these should be scaled up a little bit more. The fact that they're trying to sell it to us is like infusing the strongest world soul into our gear. I wish they were a little bit stronger, but it's just, I think that's just me. I haven't seen anyone else complain about Azurite traits besides, hey, they're an upside down netherlight crucible. They're really, really, there's nothing special about them, but I think they could be stronger. Ignore Pain provides or prevents 200 additional. See, this is what I'm talking about. These numbers are really low. 200 additional damage, I feel, is super low. 59 leech, I don't feel is going to offer much. 162 leech, a little bit better, but when I get hit for more than 10% of my maximum HP, I gain 200 armor. I have a total of 5,600 armor. My block value gives me an extra 5,600 armor. So, like, these traits feel a little weak, so there's definitely a little bit of work in terms of scaling up that they need to do. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Brian, man. I will. In Legion, Prot Warrior cares almost as much about haste as blood decay, but since we're Captain BfA, what's our new stat priority? On average, mastery or versatility. For Prot Warrior, still haste, man. Still haste. Because Ignore Pain is still a thing, the more rage you generate, the more your HP. So haste is going to give you more rage by lowering the cooldown of your shield slam, of your thunderclap, of your automatic or of your auto attacks, which also generate 2 rage every time you auto attack. So the more rage you generate, the more uptime you can have on Ignore Pain. And Ignore Pain is just going to be way better, because if you generate more rage and you eat more rage, not only do you have Ignore Pain uptime, your anger management kicks in too. So the more rage you're generating and eating, your demo shout, your last stand, and your shield wall all come off of cooldown a lot faster. So the name of the game is, if I'm generating more rage and eating more rage, I get these cooldowns, which the idea of a cooldown is something that's amazing, right? You save these cooldowns for the right moment. Imagine having twice as many cooldowns. That's almost what anger management does. My last stand went from 2 minutes to 1 minute 15. Somebody calculated it here, that I was able to use it every 1 minute and 15 seconds instead of every 2 minutes. So, Anger Management gives us twice as many cooldowns by actually reducing the cooldown by half. So I think Haste is still going to be the go-to, man. Haste is still going to be amazing because that rage generation and consumption is going to be great. You're so glad that the item level upgrade is getting that the item upgrades, like getting a new shield, will feel awesome. Yes. Yes, I completely agree. Give me back my name. Yeah, I completely agree that shield upgrades being huge is something I love again, because as a Prot Warrior or Prot Paladin, the biggest thing that separates you from every other tank is that you still have a sword and board. The fact that sword and board matters so much now, it mitigates like 15 to 20% of damage depending on how good your shield is insane. It's insane, and it's insane in a good way. So unfortunately, since everything is personal loot now, if you get unlucky with drops, you're gonna get a little bit shafted in terms of like the damage you're taking, but you know where these shields drop. There's no RNG. I mean, there is RNG in the Titan forging of the shields, but if you run a Tal Dazar, you will eventually get the shield. If you run the Temple of Sethralish, you will eventually get the shield. If you go into the raid and do, let's see who drops a shield here. Does anyone drop a shield here? Here, if you farm the last boss, which is, you know, going to be difficult because it's the last boss, but if you farm the last boss, you will get, and that's a cool looking shield too, you will eventually get the shield. So you can go into certain lockouts, do certain bosses, and farm the best chances you can at getting this gear. Hey, that's an Ulduar weapon. It looks similar. So yeah, I think that's super cool. The ability of knowing where things drop. Oh, and this guy too drops a shield. Nice. That's a cool looking shield. Vectis drops a shield too. So yeah, there's definitely, there's a little bit more in terms of like, if you're not in a master looter guild, personal loot might have the chances of screwing you over a little bit more, but I think the large majority of us play a little more casually, and that's only going to affect the top percentage of people. So definitely shield upgrades are going to feel crazy good and amazing. Unfortunately, the new mastery for Paladins is a little weak. I wish it scaled a little bit higher, because versatility to me is a really good and solid way of playing, but it's kind of boring. Versatility to me is PvP resilience and PvE. PvP resilience, reduce the damage you're taking by a percentage, increase the damage you did by a percentage, and I think it also did do a healing for PvP for P. Yeah, actually I don't know. I don't think it did healing done actually. I think it allowed you to penetrate other people's resilience a little bit better. But yeah, versatility to me is PvE version of versatility to me is PvE version of resilience. But alright guys, that is going to do it for today. If you do want to enter for a chance to win that WoW token, give me like an hour. Let me open up Gleam. Oh, I did open up Gleam. So I'm going to put it in the description of this VOD. So check back to this VOD sometime during the weekend, like in an hour if you want. That WoW token giveaway is going to be done next Wednesday. So if you check back on this VOD, there's going to be a link to it. Or if you just tune in on Wednesday, I'll have the link on Wednesday. I know not everybody can check in and do the live stream during the live stream, so I'm opening up this giveaway to kind of be for everyone. So if you're watching the VOD of this live stream, just look in the description. There is a Gleam link. I will also tweet it out. So if you guys are following me on Twitter, you can check there. If not, you can give me a follow. I post things only related to World of Warcraft, as much World of Warcraft as I can. There's been a few things that haven't been too WoW related, but you know, I promise I won't be spamming you with my opinions on everything in the world. It's gonna be WoW related. All right, guys. Bot spam? No. Versa is pretty boring. You might have to level Maghar Orc. Oh, before I leave, I want to see the Maghar Orc background. And since we can't log out, I need to just force close, relaunch. Let me see the new Maghar Orc background, because the new Dark Iron Dwarf one is really cool. Alright, I need to create a Magheart Orc. I had one before they deleted them, but yeah, they've deleted them. Of course a warrior. Randomize isn't working. Random face. Hey, random face. Oh, that is a cool background. I like it. Very cool. Nice. Okay, and then what's the other one? Do Lightforged, Draenei, and Void Elves and Nightborns look different? Let's find out. I can't do 3 of the same thing. Yes, they do. Very cool. And then we also have High Mountain Tauren. I already have one. It does look different. Ooh, that looks like the Mage Tower area for ranged DPSers, right? The one for Boomkin, Shadow Priest. I don't know who else would get it, but it was a lot of casters. Looks like the Mage Tower. I like it. We already did. Let's do these guys. Nice. Looks like the Vindicar. I like the Void Elf one and the Magheart Orc one. Oh, I did have a monk. I didn't realize I had a Magheart monk. Top 2. Dark Iron Dwarf, Magheart Orc. Look more classic. This looks really cool, really interesting. There's the Void Corruption happening too. Pretty badass. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Alright guys, I will see you next Wednesday. Check in for that WoW token giveaway. Shout out to all the patrons and the sponsors. Thank you guys for helping and donating your hard-earned cash to help support the channel. To all my subs out there, thank you guys for always tuning in and always, like, you know, sending very positive vibes. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you guys. It would just be me talking. It would just be me and Crazy Guy talking to a camera if you guys weren't here. So I appreciate you guys all tuning in, whether you tune in live or in the VOD. Alright guys, see you on Wednesday. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks, Sal.